GPTV presents the 2003 GHSA Football Semifinals. Funding for this program is provided in part by Georgia's Electric Membership Corporations, IBEW Local 613, South Trust Bank, Kroger, your Dodge Dealers of Georgia, the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, and by State Farm.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Georgia Dome in downtown Atlanta, Georgia. And if you're a high school football fan, this is game number 9 of a 2-day extravaganza. A great one set up, the 4A semifinals. Myself and Bobach getting ready for Tucker to try to go up against the Statesboro team that's got a lot going for them as well, buddy.
Well, the Statesboro team really has a lot going for them. They run an old-timey wishbone. You're going to think of Buzz Busby. You're seeing Barry Switzer out here. They pick them up, put them down. They just try to pound you. Tucker's got a defense that will come after you, though.
Yeah, Tucker, very impressive club as well. They have 2 consecutive shutouts in the playoffs where they blew people away. And also, don't forget, they got some athletes going to some big-time schools. We'll get into that. And a side story that may be the biggest in the entire playoffs, that's coming up in a second, as Tucker and Statesboro have a great opportunity to move on and take on Marist. You saw them get the monkey off their back last night in the 4A semis. And we'll see who is going to be moving forward. Let's take a look at Statesboro and Jock Cooper, Bo.
Well, that's Jock Cooper. He's going to wear number 90. He's got 117 tackles and 1 interception. They're really active, maybe not as active as Tucker on defense, but they are really something. And they rely so much on their offense just to pound people, move the sticks, and control the clock. Let's
talk more about Tucker, Bo. Tucker's got some athletes, and frankly, the entire state are talking about impact players and kids who are going to Division 1A schools, and that's one of the things that everyone is concerned about on the Statesboro side is D.T. McDowell.
Well, D.T. McDowell is their quarterback. He really throws a nice ball. He was committed to Nebraska, or at least he wanted to commit to Nebraska. Now with the coaching change, is also looking at Auburn and LSU, and he's totaled over 3,900 yards for this Tucker squad. He's really something. You're going to enjoy watching him tonight.
Two-way player, Brandon Lang, 58 tackles, 15 of them for losses, 7 sacks. He is one of the dominant players in the state, really. This kid, impressive. He's looking at Georgia. He's looking at Florida State. He'll play on both sides of the football. If you want to see some big-time athletes, this is going to be the game for it. It's a 4A semifinal game, and a lot of stories, including number 20, Thomas Brown, one of the top tailbacks in America. He committed to Georgia. He's been down with a broken fibula. He is dressed. He is warmed up. And if he plays tonight, it's the story of the playoffs.
Only 72 yards shy of 1,000 yards when he went down in game number 7. But they've been able to pick up the slack. It's going to be interesting. Dr. John Hyman from the Resurgence Orthopedic Group is on the field tonight to give him the okay or say you can't go after that broken fibula.
Everybody in the Georgia Dome will be watching to see if number 20, Thomas Brown, takes the field. Again, this is one of the premier tailbacks, not only in the state of Georgia, but in America. He's set to go to Georgia. His injury was thought to potentially to hurt a dream season for Tucker. It hasn't happened. Lisa Weiss has more on this game down on the sideline.
All right, thanks, Jake. Now, Buzz Busby and Bill Ballard have a history of coaching against each other. They first met in '91 when Buzz Busby was the head coach at Kendrick. Ballard was an assistant at Lakeside. It was for the state championship game, and it ended in a tie. Then they met again in 2000 when Tucker faced Statesboro in the 3rd round of the state playoffs. Now, at the time, Ballard was the defensive coordinator. That game also went into overtime. The Blue Devils would go on to win it in penetration. A year later, they met again at a coach's clinic. Busby noticed that Ballard ran the same 5-2 defense, so he gave us some ideas on how to make the defense better. Ballard implemented those ideas, and well, you know what, guys? The rest is history. And State, you gotta wonder, will Buzz Busby be a little upset, depending on the outcome of tonight's game, for giving away some priceless tips?
And we're live at the Georgia Dome in downtown Atlanta, Georgia. Live at the Georgia Dome in downtown Atlanta, Georgia. Steak Shapiro and Bobach, the 4A semifinal game between Tucker and Statesboro, and it should be a good one, Mr. Bach. And,
it should be, and there's Coach Bill Ballard from Tucker, and he's really looking forward to this contest. There's no surprise to what Statesboro is going to try to do to them. They've got to stop that. Statesboro at the point of attack. Stake 5 blockers at the point of attack for Statesboro. They really try to pound it.
Well, Tucker's going to get the football first, so it's going to be an opportunity to see if Thomas Brown comes out. Brandon Young will return, and he'll get out to the 25-yard line.
Now, Tucker's a ball control offense themselves, even though D.T. McDowell can throw it. I watched him warming up today. I've seen him one time during the year, and he's a very efficient quarterback, can run it, can throw it.
Well, he's the real deal. I mean, this kid is, he again is recruited to go to Nebraska. It looks like, talking to his coach before the game, Bill Ballard, he'll still go there, despite the fact that Frank Solich isn't there. We'll talk more about that throughout the night. First and 10, 25-yard line, Tucker with the football. McDowell, a little swing pass out to the flat. He gets it to Rajon Alexander, cut down after a gain of a couple of yards. There's the starters for Tucker: Roche, McCain, Stewart, Muirhead, and Stevens. Meanwhile, the skill positions, you see Young and Swinton, Coleman and Alexander, and Lang at tight end, a big time. And of course, we'll talk about Swinton as well. He is one of the premier players in the state. James Swinton set to go to Auburn and play the wide receiver position. 2nd and 7 yards to go. Deaning to McDowell under center. The game is outside across the 33 to the 34-yard line. Brandon Young with the carry.
Very good blocking at the line of scrimmage. There's Statesboro's defensive lineup: Houston, Mincy, Foy, and Deacle. They've got Rushing, Cooper, Etheridge, and Watkins in the backfield. And then Young and Brazil at the quarterbacks, at the cornerbacks, excuse me.
Don't forget Jay Blackbow, number 39 as well.
At safety.
Leading tackler, of course, Jock Cooper, 157 in the year. The give is on first down, straight ahead. Does not look like he got it.
They're calling it. They're giving it to him, Steak. They stacked him up pretty good.
Well, it looked like he got hit right at the line of scrimmage, and they're giving him his forward motion.
The ball is over the line at that point.
And then he gets pushed back, and pushing him back on the play. A couple of names you'll hear a lot of today. Alex Deacle, of course, Leroy Etheridge as well. First and 10, 35-yard line for Tucker. Opening possession of the 4A semifinals. Out of the shotgun formation, D.T. McDowell. McDowell back to pass, looks downfield, and a pass a little bit behind Rajon Alexander, and falls incomplete, the senior wide receiver.
Well, that was an incompletion, but I think everybody at home can see what type of talent D.T. McDowell is, because he's got a very efficient throwing motion. There was a lot of zip on that ball. Too much for Alexander.
Well, no question. And this is a kid that can throw it 70 yards, Bo. I mean, there's a reason why. There you see his numbers: 28 passing touchdowns on the year, 29 rushing touchdowns, 3,900 passing yards, 1,400 on the ground. That's his career, by the way, at Tucker. Phenomenal football player. The give is straight ahead up the middle, and he's gone. Brandon Young with a touchdown. He busts off a left tackle, 65 yards, and Brandon Young has given Tucker the lead, and that's the last thing that Statesboro wanted to see happen early on.
I had a simple draw and caught them early, caught them napping a little bit, trying to get their head in the game with Statesboro, and they hit him with the draw. And the thing about Brandon Young, watch him here off the left side. Excellent blocking there. He picked up 800 yards since Thomas Brown went down in Game 7. And I was saying to myself, how could a kid have that many yards when he just saw what he just did?
Yeah, Thomas Brown didn't obviously play that first series and may not. Kick is up and good by Blake Harr. And when you have a kid like Brandon Young, Bo, he really has been the key to Tucker. The kid has been phenomenal. He's a junior. He's potentially a big-time player at the next level.
Well, that drive was pretty efficient. 4 plays, 75 yards. A minute and a half off the clock. Draw, fake the pass, spread them out. The offense was spread out. And look at this second gear. What a great stride. What a good-looking athlete Brandon Young is.
Well, for for Buzz Busby, Bo, and that's the last thing you want to see. You know, Tucker comes in coming off a couple of shutouts back-to-back. They have a lot of confidence. Many people here around the Dome feel like it's inevitable that Tucker and Marist get together next Friday night, and that would be a mistake to in any way count Statesboro out. They beat Ware County a couple of weeks ago in a considered a huge upset. They were unranked coming into the playoffs. Statesboro was. They beat Ware County 27-26 on a missed extra point at the end, and they were considered an underdog. Buzz Busby asked about it. He said, look, when you play for Statesboro, you're never an underdog. I don't care what anybody says. He has that kind of attitude. That's the way his team plays, but they're down 7-0 early. And the kick is off. Charles Rock will return the fine tailback for Statesboro across the 15-17, and he's cut down there, where Statesboro will take over, and their fine sophomore quarterback, David Cohn, 600 yards in the air, 7 touchdowns, just 1 interception. But he makes this wishbone type offense run with really being smart about who he gives the football to. He won't run it a bunch. This is an old-fashioned kind of a throwback offense. And
it's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, Buzz Busby really wants to beat you up front, grind it away, and use some of the fine tailbacks he has. First and 10 to 17, give it straight ahead of the fullback, Charles Weaver. He's a 5'8", 225-pound senior, and he is going to be there all night. Here's Statesboro up front, Bo. Jackson, Lonan, Palmer, Rushing, and Roberts. Here's their backfield, Roberts, Weaver. Look for Charles Rock, Fuller. Second down and 8. Statesboro with the football. The Blue Devils trailing early in this one in the 4A semifinals. The handoff is outside around the 18-19 yard line. Charles Rock gets cut down nicely there. Tackle made by number 29, Mike Compton. He's only a sophomore, starting at the strong safety position. Bo, they just strung this thing out and had it up pursuit.
Well, that's not the blocking that they want at the point of attack that Statesboro is used to. And you see the pursuit from Tucker, a very quick team, a lot of athletes on this Tucker squad.
Tucker defense, Lang, Coleman, Solomon, McCain, and there's Bruce, Kearney, Young, and Compton. 3rd and 7, tough position to be in early on for the Statesboro Blue Devils. They give it to the outside, Tavius Roberts, and he gets about 2 yards, and that is all. And Statesboro will be forced to punt. The Tucker defense, which pitched a couple of shutouts, Bo, in the playoffs before getting to the Dome, certainly looked tough there.
And I noticed in a couple of games that really the defense at the high school level takes a couple of series to get into it. Tucker came out ready.
Yeah, great start, certainly, for Bill Ballard and the Tucker Tigers, who want that rematch with Marist. They're going to need a win. Lonnie Brown with the punt. Off the side of his foot a little bit, gets a Statesboro bounce. Did he touch it is the question, and it is going to be Statesboro football. A key mistake there.
I think that was Trey Buse.
It might have been James Swinton.
Here it is.
No, Swinton was on the side of him. It was indeed Trey Bruce who touched the football. You saw Swinton very upset afterwards, standing next to him. A huge, huge turnover early on in this football game. Tucker wants a timeout. And Mr. Bach, how many times in how many football games does turnovers and special teams play a crucial role right out of the gate? You have it matter here.
Talk about a dagger in your heart. And you know when that kid Breeze came to the sideline, that Coach Ballard will just go crazy. Say, if you're not going to catch it clean, get away from the football.
Well, here's the thing. It takes a serious Statesboro bounce, and he finds himself Buse kind of backing into it. Doesn't get a clean piece of it. Deflects off him. Swinton isn't around to help pick it up, and just like that, Bill Ballard now trying to get his kids calmed down. Huge break for Statesboro early on after going 3 and out, and after Tucker's first possession, marching down the field with a huge touchdown run to start things off.
And Coach Ballard has 6 kids who go both ways.
First and 10, 35-yard line behind David Cone. And it looks like there's a procedure. The give was to Roberts, but they may call that back. A 65-yard touchdown run early on is the only score. Brandon Young, the fine tailback who filled in for Thomas Davis, he got Tucker on the board.
Illegal procedure. What's interesting about Tucker so far, we've seen
false start on the offense, first down.
We've seen a couple of different defensive fronts from Tucker. We saw a 4-man front in the last series. Now they're showing a 3-man front.
First and 15. Can Statesboro take advantage of the huge opportunity that they have been given? They're at the 35-yard line, headed to give it to Roberts, and Roberts grinds his way down again, about 4 yards on the play, and that's a lot of what you'll see tonight. That kind of an effort, just pounding forward. Jimmy Coleman, the senior linebacker, who also goes both ways, he makes the tackle.
It's great blocking at the line of scrimmage. And that could have gone for big yards, and surprised him because Tucker has so many people in the box.
Second and 9. Statesboro with the football. The give is straight ahead to Charles Rock. Appropriate name as he bangs his way forward there, the sophomore. Gain of about 2 on the play. That'll bring up a 3rd and 6 for the Statesboro Blue Devils. Another 3rd and long situation. Not where you want to be when you have this type of offense.
No, but once in a blue moon, they'll throw it. And if he's got a chance to throw it, it probably is now, because they're really inching up toward the line of scrimmage.
Charles Rock's numbers for the year, 137 carries. You see it, almost 1,000 yards for that fine-looking sophomore. Cone's going to throw it. He's got a man downfield, and he overthrows him. David Cone, a little play-action rollout. He's looking for Xavier Jordan, the 5'10", 172-pound senior, and was not able to connect. Looks like, Bo, he may have stopped.
Yeah, that's what coach is telling him right there. He said, why'd you stop running? I mean, that's a cardinal mistake for a wide receiver. We've seen cornerbacks do it. We saw it last night, a cornerback stop. But wide receiver, you keep running. Look at coach just ranting and raving about that. Just run the route.
Wow. I would not want to be on the other side of that conversation, or the wrong side of it, I should say. 43-yard attempt, Zach Sanders. He is a junior, 147 pounds. So, yeah, he's not playing on the defensive line. Here he is with the kick coming up, and there's a timeout there on the play. Referees want to find out what's going on.
Play a game on the offense.
Coach Busby, Mr. Bach, those who know him, he is a controversial figure and one of the best high school coaches around as well.
Not so much controversial as he is, we're going to do it my way, and this is the way we're going to do it. We're not going to deviate from it. Some people take exception to that.
Well, I should say this. He's a big personality,
yes,
not controversial.
Yes, he is.
And he's had great success. Already won 2 state titles at 2 different high schools. They will now punt it, forego the field goal opportunity. Pretty good punt if it gets a good roll, and it does. And it's going to be marked down at the 1-yard line.
And obviously, great call, Coach Busby.
Lonnie Brown, great job there by that young man as he puts Statesboro in great shape as he gets the role he needed.
Heads up coaching call from Coach Busby to take the delay of game, give his punter a little more room, and they end up downing it on the 1.
Lonnie Brown, a freshman, Bo. How about that?
He'll never forget this day in the Dome.
Well, you'll have 4 more years of that kind of 3 more years after this. So Tucker survives the turnover. Their first trip ever to the Georgia Dome so far has been a pleasant one. 7-0 the score, 6:58 to go. We are early first quarter. The give is straight ahead to Brandon Young. Last time he touched the football, he just happened to go 65 yards to give the Tigers the lead. He's got nothing there. It'll bring up a 2nd and 8 situation.
2 tight ends that time. Pure power formation for Tucker.
D.T. McDowell, the fine senior quarterback, has brought Tucker to the Georgia Dome with an impressive resume and looking to get them out of their own end zone right here. He'll roll out to the right, has a little gap there, and then is cut down on the play. Corey Rushing, the sophomore, impressive looking kid, comes up, fills the gap, and lays some lumber on D.T. McDowell.
And the defense that Statesboro showed there, the defensive line, look at them. They look like they're doing a warm-up drill, and before the game, just everybody working down the line and getting their feet up, keeping their feet moving, getting their shoulder pads square.
3rd and 5. Tucker now in a situation where if they can't convert here, Statesboro will have the ball with good field position and a chance to once again try to tie this game up. McDowell rolling out, sees a little seam, but it is closing quickly. And there's a great job there by number 90, Jock Cooper. He is their premier player on defense. He comes up and makes a big time hit. And look at him, Bo. A kid who's a senior and wants nothing more than to get to something done here tonight.
Well, that makes 118 for Jock. We featured him in the open and watched Jock move to the ball. Big guy, look at him. Big, rangy linebacker, slobber knocker type of guy.
Jatavian Foy also stepping up, Bo. He is a junior, and a lot of juniors and sophomores playing on Statesboro, getting meaningful minutes. Tucker, of course, with their skill positions. Some seniors. Obviously, Thomas Brown was a senior, but it's Brandon Young, the junior, who's been such a factor. He'll also
timeout.
He'll be kicking. He is the punter.
That's their second timeout.
Good call, Coach Ballard, because they were lining up to block it, and Tucker was not sure about what they wanted to do. So a good timeout. Make sure you got your blocking straight.
Want to mark your calendar, Mr. Bach, for Friday night. January 30th, it's the return of Georgia's longest-running high school sports and academics program, Prep Sports Plus. You'll meet some of Georgia's most successful student-athletes, athletic programs, and much more. It's Prep Sports Plus, returning Friday night, January 30th at 11 o'clock, exclusively on GPTV. Scary place for Brandon Young, the junior, to be backed up into his end zone. And again, if there is a block play that Statesboro thinks they have, now would be the time to use it. Returning for Statesboro, Leroy Etheridge. The kick is off. It's off the side of his foot. It's short. And it's going to take a big-time Statesboro bounce. The Blue Devils will have the football in business at the 24-yard line of Tucker.
They didn't get the block, but they sure did get the punter's attention. That maybe is why he shanked that.
Yeah, it certainly, Bo, worked out the decision to not go for the long field goal, to punt that football away. And again, all this has been set up by the turnover off the punt to Tucker. Here it is again. He had plenty of time there, Bo, really. I mean,
that first touching on the kicking team, the ball will be spotted.
A little bit of pressure by Grady Young, the junior, but for the most part, that was just not a very good kick for that young man. Brandon Young. First and 10, pitch goes outside. Tavius Roberts, and he is cut down on the play. Impressive job stepping up by Brandon Lang. You'll hear his name quite a bit throughout the evening.
What a fine tackle. This is a picture-perfect tackle. Look at him shed the blocker. Boom. Tremendous play. 2nd
and 8. Statesboro Blue Devils have gotten virtually nothing against this Tucker defense. And look at Brandon Lang, all-time sack leader in the history of Tucker. And he does a lot more than sack the quarterback. He is all over the field. Anybody that's played Tucker will tell you he's the guy to worry about. Straight ahead run off left tackle for Gavin McCullough, who had a huge game in the first game of the playoffs, rushing for over 100 yards. He didn't have much there, trying to run behind Leon Lonan, and Terrence Jackson couldn't get much there. Stepping up and making the play, Jimmy Coleman, who also plays fullback, and I think a lot of these Tucker kids, Bo, two-way players.
Yeah.
And that may be a factor if this is a close game late.
Sure will. Right now, Statesboro can't get under Tucker. They can't move him off the line of scrimmage.
3rd and 7. Again, a 3rd and long situation. The handoff to Tavius Roberts. He breaks the tackle, and it looks like he's got the first down straight ahead there. And finally, the first down of the night comes by virtue of a Tavius Roberts carry, and they had an opportunity and did not make the play there. Tucker, great run by Roberts. He is a big gun for them and a key factor. Look at this season. He had almost 1,000 yards, 15 touchdowns. Tavius Roberts, an impressive senior.
He had a 6.1 average, and that was the first time they counted on them.
Wishbone behind Cohn. It's Stephen Roberts. Roberts across the 10 down to the 6. And again, now seeing a little bit of what Brennan Palmer, the center, and Chris Roberts, the right guard, could do. Trey Buice makes the tackle on the play.
Now, don't forget, with 6 guys for Tucker playing both ways, maybe, they've been on the field quite a bit now. So
a little early, though, Bo, to start worrying about that. No,
well,
these kids have been doing this all year long. And again, think about this defense, Bo. Consecutive shutouts last 2 weeks of the postseason.
Yeah, that's what they're playing for right here, right now.
2nd and 3, wishbone formation behind David Cone. Gave it straight ahead to Roberts, and again, very effective, running behind his big center, Brennan Palmer, 230-pound sophomore. And the sophomore helped set up Tavius Roberts down to the 2-yard line, and this is exactly what Buzz Busby wanted to see. Take advantage of the field position, start to assert yourself offensively, use that offensive line.
By the way, that Sims on the nose for Tucker is only 5'6", 186. He high jumps 6'8".
They're down to the 1-yard line. David Cone trying to help his team get in here. Give it to Roberts. Cut down there nicely. Great penetration by the Tucker Tigers. And they'll have to try it from 2nd and goal. Brandon Lang, the guy that we've mentioned and will continue to mention, comes up and cuts him down.
That Hamilton Sims right there. You see he created a pile, got underneath the Tucker offense, got underneath the Statesboro offensive line. Little bitty guy that just is all athlete.
Second and goal from the 1. The Blue Devils trying to cash in here at the Georgia Dome in the first quarter. Looks like an audible. David Cone may be changing the play. Wishbone formation behind him. The handoff goes to left side and touchdown. Charles Rock, the sophomore, going in off the left side, and the Blue Devils cash in eventually on that big turnover, have a chance to make it 7 apiece.
Great audible. He just flip-flopped the call. Tucker was strong to the left side. He just flipped it over, came back to the left side. To his own left side.
Yeah, great lead.
Away from the strength.
Great lead block on the play by Charles Weaver, the fullback. And that kick is up and good. 7-7 the score. And Bo, again, that turnover, it didn't cost them the next possession, but it changed the field possession game, and eventually Statesboro cashed in.
Yeah, they got the great punt down to the 1-yard line. Great call by Coach Busby to take the delay and give his punter a little room to whoop-a-dee-doo, and they downed it on the 1.
Yeah, and you know, Bo, that Coach Ballard at Tucker, who is trying to give Tucker their opportunity to state title. They really needed to take advantage of what their defense did early on, and unfortunately weren't able to do it.
There it is, 7 plays, 24 yards, 3.5 minutes.
Their first appearance in the Dome, they did not seem flustered initially, but you let a team like Statesboro get an opportunity like that, they're going to cash in, and we get a 7-7 score. Minute 12 to go in quarter number 1. You're watching GPTV. Semi-final action of the 4A championship round. Winner travels to Marist next Friday night. Across the 21-yard line, Mike Compton, who also plays strong safety and returns kicks. He's knocked down there. And while we have the opportunity, congratulations once again to the Marist Club, War Eagles last night, Bo, who stepped up and really had a phenomenal game. Sean McVay and a lot of those kids been waiting for a moment like that.
Yeah, had a big crowd here in the Georgia Dome. First trip to the finals since 1989. They're excited at Marist.
They have built a great tradition of football. They needed to beat Thomas County Central, and last night they did. Congratulations to that entire group. First and 10, handoff comes across the left side to Brandon Young. Gain of about 4 on the play, the junior, getting a little bit of daylight, and then Statesboro stepping up and making the play.
Well, Statesboro's got to account for him because you saw the long speed that he has. You can't give him any room, can't get him in space.
Brandon Young, when Thomas Brown goes down, really was counted on to pick up the slack. They have averaged winning margin since the loss of Thomas Brown of almost 34 points a game, Bo. They have not missed a beat, and that's an understatement.
And he's only a junior.
Yeah. Well, they love to have Thomas Brown, no question, but they have survived. Passive formation, in trouble, and cut down. D.T. McDowell sacked on the play. Brad Mincy, the senior, 234-pound defensive tackle.
Talk about a well-coached team. It was textbook at the line of scrimmage, the pass rush, and they were 3 deep. There were 2 receivers for Tucker, and there were 3 defenders back there, and nobody was deeper than the last defender. And how about the pass rush when he just squared up and was able to take on the tackle? Didn't go for any jukes or anything, just they had penetration, and then they had contained.
Well, there was no, the ball fake did not phase the Blue Devils, and Statesboro now looking at 3rd and 16 for Tucker. We'll come back. GPTV coverage of the semifinals 4A matchup. 7-7. Back at the Dome coming up. Welcome back to the Georgia Dome in downtown Atlanta, Georgia. My name is Steak Shapiro and Bo Bach from Atlanta's sports leader, Sports Talk 790 The Zone. Radio right here in Atlanta. We are thrilled to be lucky enough to be working with GPTV and a part of what is a great tradition of high school football and a great legacy of covering the 2 days here at the Georgia Dome. And thanks for the opportunity. And hopefully if you're home on a Saturday night watching your school or getting ready to watch your school, you'll sit back with us. Bo, grab a glass of Chablis, open up a cold beer, whatever it might be, enjoy, relax.
Sarsaparilla for some folks.
Whatever it might be. 3rd and 16. It's Tucker and Statesboro. 7-7 after a quarter. DT McDowell out of the shotgun formation. Feeling some pressure. Throws it across the middle. And it is caught and then eventually cut down. Rajon Alexander. I'll tell you, the more you watch these high school games, Bo, the level of hitting, the size, the speed, and we're watching the replay. Rajon got absolutely stuck right there going over the middle.
Yeah, look at that. That's a textbook tackle right there. And talk about the delivery of the ball. DT McDowell, again, once again, give themselves a little breathing room here and try to change this field position advantage, which has been Statesboro.
Adam Newbern with the tackle, Bo. Super job right there, Tommy Watkins. DT McDowell will kick. And he gets up one to the 48-yard line. Across the 50. Latvis. I'm sorry, Jerian Black, who also plays free safety, gets a few yards on that play. But once again, the Blue Devils controlling field position, and the key was their defense, Bo, holding Tucker to a 3-and-out. They get a big sack of DT McDowell, and now they take over. 1st and 10, 11 minutes to go in the second quarter. Shotgun formation behind the sophomore David Cohn. Cohn, the handoff straight in the middle. Tavius Roberts bangs his way through, gain of almost 7 on the play, and that offensive line, that old-time throwback pounding style of Statesboro starting to become very effective. Look, Bo, look at him run straight ahead.
Yeah, you notice that Statesboro is playing at a faster clip now. In that first series, Tucker really looked as though they were quicker to the ball. Statesboro was feeling out their offense, and now they're quicker. They've got a different gear. They're supercharged now that they're in this football game.
Andrew McCain, the tackle on the play. He also plays offensive line. That's where fatigue could be a factor certainly later in this game. Around the outside, great job breaking tackles and working his way down. Charles Rock, number 37. Bo, they had him for what looked like either a loss of...
No, that was Andrew McCain, number 52 from Tucker, that really had him, and he was able to squirrel out of his grasp.
Watch how many tackles he breaks. McCain thought he had him. Yeah, McCain looked like he had him wrapped up, and then a number of guys on Tucker running around trying to make a play, and nobody could do it. 1st and 10, straight ahead run by Rock. Looks like we may have a hold on the play. But what about that, though? You know, when you look at the Tucker defense, and one of their key guys is Andrew McCain. He's the inside linebacker. He's a senior, Bo, but he's also playing left guard on the offensive side of the football. So talk for a second about what that, what kind of disadvantage that put Tucker in.
Well, puts him in, you've got to bring in a kid that...
on the offense, repeat 1st down.
That doesn't have as much experience. Here's the center. See him, got him wrapped up?
Yeah, that's Brendan Palmer, Bo.
Brendan Palmer's got him all wrapped up. I believe that was Hamilton Sims, a little bitty guy.
Little bitty guy, huh, Bo? That's what we're going to call him tonight? All right, the handoff straight ahead there. Charles Rock trying to get back to the original line of scrimmage. Gains about 5 on the play. Bo, you were talking about trying to go both ways?
Yeah, trying to go both ways, and then you get involved in the action. You're on defense. You're running sideline to sideline. You never get a breath. Now all of a sudden you have to come back on offense and make a play and be as fresh as you were, and it's very difficult to do that.
Well, Andrew McCain doing that, and they've done a phenomenal job. These guys going both ways, and McCain has been one of their best linebackers. But again, this is a big-time team he's going to face tonight. Charles Rock again with the football. Listen to the pads. Mashing each other, gain of about 2 or 3 on the play, and once again Statesboro, the Blue Devils find themselves in a 3rd and long. Mike Compton, the fine-looking sophomore strong safety, came up and made the play. Let's go down to Elisa Weiss for a second, Bo. She's down the sideline.
All right, Steak, thank you. Now, the one thing that Bill Ballard was concerned about this Statesboro's offense, he said there's nothing fancy about them, but they beat you up physically by wearing you down. They're very patient. They take their time. And you know what? That's exactly what they're doing. Just little yard, little yard, little yard. Steak, back up to you.
David Cohn down the sideline. A great kind of Ruski play. He hit the football that was supposed to produce somebody downfield, Bo. Nothing open except a sideline wide open for Cohn to run down. Watch the play. Great ball fake. Tucker seems to bite on it. Nothing there for Cohn, Bo, and then he takes off.
Hides it behind his hip. It looked as though it was just a tremendous ball fake. Cohn does not run that often. He's a 6'6", 175-pound sophomore, and totally fooled Tucker.
If you watch Georgia and Georgia Tech a few weeks ago, David Green had one of the all-time plays very similar to that one. Handoff is outside with his, looks like his first carry of the night for Statesboro. That's number 2, Nick Wedlow. He's a junior, and he gains about 2 yards on the play.
Well, you can see, as Lisa was talking about, what Coach Busby is trying to do, just wear you out. Just
no question.
Pound you and pound you and pound you.
And again, this defense has been on the field a long time in this early going, Bo, and it's starting to take effect. It's been a couple now of 3rd and longs where the Blue Devils have converted, which you know are backbreakers for Tucker. 2nd and 8, ball on the 15-yard line. Cohn hands off again. That's the kid we just mentioned. And Nick Wedlow gets it across the 7 down to about the 6-yard line. And all of a sudden, this is what we're talking about, a fresh body. Trey Bwyce making the tackle, but this kid making his first 2 carries of the night, Bo, comes in Wedlow and is very effective.
He sure was. And Leon Lennon, their number 54, their left guard, was really quick off the ball. It almost looked as though it was a false start, but he just he was very quick.
Tonight's game, by the way, can also be viewed live, guys, on the GP TV internet site. www.gpb.org. Looks like those people know about the excitement behind that website. Just follow the links to connect to the game. All the games from the Dome this weekend will be archived and available on the GPB website as well. That's www.gpb.org. Yes, indeedy. So we sit in the second quarter. You're watching the 4A semifinal matchup between Tucker and Statesboro. Stake Shapiro and Bobach. Excited to be watching 2 of the fine programs here in the state of Georgia. And for the Blue Devils, a chance now. 1st and goal from the 7. This is mano a mano. Bo, you know for the most part what Statesboro is going to do here. This is an opportunity for Tucker to try to cut him off at the pass. Wishbone formation behind David Cohn. The give is straight ahead to Charles Rock, and Rock gets down to the 4. Has there ever been a better name, maybe for a fullback, Bo, but for a tailback fullback than Charles Rock?
No, except Chuck Rock. Hey, Chuck Rock.
Well, Chuck him the Rock.
Hey, Chucky.
Well, Charles Rock really should be more of a fullback with that name than a tailback, but
Tucker staying in that 3-4. They also can run a 4-3. I'm surprised they're not creeping closer to the line of scrimmage.
Rock having a good night there. 40 yards on the ground almost. Give it to Roberts, and he is right at the 1/2-yard line, if that. Tavius Roberts. Andrew McCain, who was battling like crazy out there, and Kareem James, the 2 senior linebackers, trying to hold him off.
Well, not here on goal line, but if I was Coach Ballard, I'd be tempted to shoot the gaps, put more people in the line of scrimmage, and kind of sell out a couple of these plays.
3rd and goal. They're about a foot away from taking the lead here. Cone under center. They give to Roberts. Touchdown, Statesboro. And that wasn't complicated. A little bit of trickery on that ball fake, but for the most part, Bo, we're going to line up and ram it down your throat. That's what they did.
That's what they did, and it's becoming too easy, Steak. Remember how active Tucker was in that first series, and now they've looked a little soft up front.
Zach Sanders will try to convert the extra point. The Blue Devils will be able to cash in with a 7-point lead, and they do. 6 minutes, 36 seconds to go, quarter number 2, and let's look at the replay. They use that left side, and a super job by Roberts. He's great around the goal line. But let's continue to mention the kid, Charles Weaver. He's a senior fullback, Bo. And Weaver really has been the key on a number of their big runs, especially around the goal line. Charles Weaver, we've always talked about what a great fullback can do, and that's a great example of it.
Well, you saw him right there, and he got a piece of that tackler, and that was enough. That's all he needed. Look at this, 10 plays, 49 yards, 5.5 minutes. Now that's controlling the clock and moving the sticks.
Very impressive performance by the Blue Devils.
As we look back now, Steak, how many times has Tucker had the ball? As you think about it, they've not had much offense.
No, they haven't. In their first possession, it turned out exactly the way they wanted, but it took the big run to give them the lead. Otherwise, they have not done anything sustained. And there is definite concern by Bill Ballard over on that Tucker sideline right now, but a long way to go. And Tucker finding themselves in a position they have not been in very often this season. 14-7 Statesboro, 6:36 to go. Quarter number 2 of the 4A semifinals here, live from downtown Atlanta.
And Statesboro has 2 complete units. They don't have anybody that goes both ways.
Brandon Young already has a touchdown. He's returning across the 25 to 27, and he's knocked down there, and that's where Tucker will take over. D.T. McDowell will be under center. But first, let's turn our attention to the very glamorous Lisa Weiss down on the sideline.
Why, thank you, Stick. I tried my hardest. Now, you mentioned Charles Weaver, the senior fullback. He is one of 2 Statesboro's players who is playing on that 2001 team that won the championship. And you know he is hungry to win it again, and he's going to do whatever it takes to lead his team to play again next week. Steak, back up to you.
Thank you very much, Lisa. Here we go. Back McDowell. Swing pass outside on the flat. A nice gain on first down. They're going to hold that football, though. It's loose. And it's recovered by James Swinton. Swinton, of course, we talked about him in the pregame. He is the outstanding flanker, Bo. He's headed to Auburn. Yeah. He's got a breakaway speed, but watch the football here, Bo.
And look at it come out now. He's surrounded by 4 guys.
Well,
right
look where
there.
he's holding it.
And he's trying to make a big play. I know, I understand. He's got it out there. He's trying to bounce. He still wants to make a big play. The play is over. Get all you can get. Put the ball away. It's all about ball security.
He's holding it like a loaf of focaccia bread right there. 1st and 10 at the 41. Play action fake. Goes down and caught at the 44-yard line. Jimmy Coleman making the catch. You didn't think you'd hear a focaccia bread reference?
No, I thought we were in the Italian league for a moment.
2nd and 7, Bo. Not a big gain on first down, but I think what they're trying to do right here is let D.T. McDowell kind of stretch his athleticism. This guy can throw it down the field. James Swinton, one of the fastest players in the state of Georgia. You keep your eye on him, as we will tonight. He's number 2. A lot of fans of Auburn watching him tonight, excited about the prospects of him playing for the Tigers. The give is to Young. Young across the 50 to 45, and a first down and a big one there. Brandon Young continues to be the workhorse.
He is electric. Talk about a kid with scintillating speed.
Adam Newbern with a tackle, Bo, by the way.
Boy, I'll tell you, you give him some space. Watch this. Watch him drive. Look how quick he is.
Well, look at him.
Great cut there.
Yeah, look at the cut back. Just a great job there. Again, early on, if you just joined us, the story was that Thomas Brown was dressing and warming up. He's the outstanding tailback, probably the premier tailback in the state. He has not seen the field, and there's been no reason because Brandon Young has been outstanding. The handoff straight ahead. Jimmy Coleman will bang his way for 4 yards. Nice play on first down, Bo, as they continue to move the football.
Yeah, you just got to keep them honest inside. But I think they've got the opportunity to throw the ball with 5:16 remaining in this half. D.T. McDowell is really an impressive thrower to me.
D.T. McDowell committed to Nebraska after going to Frank Solich's camp, I believe, in Lincoln. Had a great relationship with Coach Solich, committed to Nebraska. Since the firing of Solich, he says he's still headed there, although LSU has some notion of trying to get in the mix as well. He's back to pass, little flanker pass on the wing. Brandon Young across the 35 to the 32-yard line. A great job there on second down, and a little ways to go, and they pick up the first down. Leroy Etheridge and Prathan Wilkerson making the play.
Way to go, Coach Ballard. You want to get this kid in space as much as you can. Get him outside, run him outside, line him up outside. Any place you can get him in space, he's going to cause some havoc.
I've heard you say that for years about Warrick Dunn of the Falcons. You just find ways you got to get him the football, whatever it is, get him on a swing pass, some pitch outs, whatever it takes, and I think they feel the same way about Brandon Young. 1st and 10, driving on the 31 of Statesboro. D.T. McDowell back to pass, looking downfield, feeling some pressure, and he is hammered there. Wow! Eluded one tackle, but then Tommy Watkins came up and lowered the boom. Watkins, 140 tackles on the year, and if half of them were like that, a lot of players in pain around the state.
I think they ran a little stunt on the left side. Yeah, they did. They ran a stunt on the left side, and no one was able to pick him up.
Wow, Bo. Tommy Watkins saw a chance to get a lick at the quarterback, staring him. He hit him right in the numbers.
Well, look at the year he's had. An interception and 110 tackles.
His eyes lit up when he saw McDowell out there, Bo. 2nd and 11 from the 32. McDowell will pass. He rolls right. He looks downfield. And he throws a cannon. Caught. Brandon Johnson, the senior flanker, with a catch. And Grady Young on the coverage there. And he is down on the play, and he is banged up. Bo, how about the arm of McDowell?
Yeah, how about 30-yard, 35-yard rope. Toughest pass to make is that deep out cut. And he gets it. Look, even in slow motion, look at the velocity and how that ball came in there. They faked it to Brandon Young that time.
Well, great job creating space for McDowell back there. He had all the time in the world with a little misdirection, and it kind of froze him up front. And now Tucker in business, and I think both feeling very comfortable throwing the football.
Yes.
Clock is moving.
And obviously that's going to help their running game.
1st and 10, 14-yard line. Statesboro Blue Devils leading the Tucker Tigers 14-7. The handoff is to Coleman, and Coleman grinds his way as a good fullback will and gets some positive yards. Gain of about 4 on the play.
6 feet 190. He's a senior.
He also, Bo, is one of those guys who plays on both sides of the football, if I'm not mistaken. He plays inside linebacker next to Brandon Lang, who also is a big piece of what Tucker's trying to do. 2nd and 6, the handoff. It looked like he tripped at the line. Coleman there.
Working the fullback and using that halfback as a decoy to fake the toss sweep to the left.
3rd and 6, Bo. What do you like here? Again, I think you got to get McDowell. I like the moving pocket or the misdirection or play action. Something to create a little more time for McDowell. Let him have the run-pass option. He's one of the great athletes in high school football.
Well, you also have the option of the slant here. The slant always works. You can throw the fade.
Well, they're
going to run
straight ahead, and close to a first down is Brandon Young. Bo, they just went back to the basics, and he's running off his left guard, Andrew McCain, and his left tackle, Stephen Roach.
That's because they're going to go for it on 4th down. Well, it was actually 3rd and short. Steg was 3rd and 2.
Officials timeout for Mesmer.
3rd and 2 with a couple of opportunities, Bo, this close to the goal line at the 6-yard line. Certainly for Tucker to be able to run the football, and they're going to measure.
Wow, a couple of inches.
Now that will set up the 4th down we talked about, and we'll see what they want to do here.
So when the referee holds up his thumb and forefinger and index finger, and this much. So you know, as a coach, you know it's just a little bit.
4th and under a yard. Another huge play in this football game. Tucker driving the football and looking to.
Tucker players calling for noise.
I've never seen that before. Their offensive line yelling for noise. Straight ahead, and he's got it. D.T. McDowell.
State, high school is not about strategy. It's all about emotion.
Yeah.
They're trying to get themselves jacked.
I didn't know the offensive line needed to be jacked for the 4th and inches, but whatever works. The offensive line actually turned to the Tucker crowd and said, make noise. Yeah. Normally, you get quarterbacks coming out there trying to quiet the dome. Regardless, the drive continues. It's been an impressive one, and it's 1st and goal at the 4-yard line. McDowell, outside pitch, and nothing doing there. A loss of 1 on the play. Say hello to my little friend.
Jock Cooper.
Yes, indeed.
Jock, look at him come up. Number 90, boom! And that was 47, Tommy Watkins.
Yeah, Cooper and Watkins, Bo. I mean, those are the 2 guys on defense that are the stalwarts. I, again, look for McDowell on some kind of a rollout here or something to create a little more space. They tried to run it in there. They tried to the guy, Brandon Young, who has been their horse, and nothing doing. So now 2nd and goal from the 5, trailing 14-7. Tucker with 46 seconds left in the first half. I formation behind, play action, rolling right. Looking for space. Cut down and fumble in the end zone. And it looks like somebody has it. It is waiting for a call.
Statesboro.
Statesboro has it. D.T. McDowell fumbles inside the 1. 2 Tucker players were near the ball. And with 31 seconds left, Statesboro has the football.
Jock Cooper on that ball. He dove in there. He was able to wrestle it away. Holy cow.
Bo, how many times have we seen in a desperate situation trying to make extra yards, trying to grind away? Now, the initially gets by the first hit, but then it was number 63, Jatavian Foy, and Tucker looked like they had a chance to fall on the football. They rolled him out like I thought they should, created some space, and McDowell.
That ball not protected. You got to have ball security. You got to put it away down there.
2 Tucker guys there, 1 guy in Statesboro. They'll run it straight ahead, and it's David Cohn.
David Cohn with the keeper.
And that's it. 20 seconds to go. The clock will move, and Tucker has to feel like they have let this thing get away from him a little bit. 2 crucial turnovers. They've had 3 fumbles. They've lost 2 of them, and the first half will come to a close. And the Statesboro Blue Devils continue to defy the odds after 1 half of football, doing what they do best, grinding it out, and with a touchdown lead after the first 24 minutes. The score, Statesboro 14, Tucker 7. I'll tell you, if the second half has anything like the first one, you better plan on spending some time with us. 14-7 at the half, live in the 4A semis. We'll come back to the Georgia Dome. The bands are ready to rock and roll. We'll have that for you coming up. And we are back here at the halftime of Statesboro and Tucker. I'm Steak Shapiro with Bo Bach getting ready for the band.
That's Statesboro's band.
Yeah, that's the Marching
Blue Devils.
Well, that's the Marching Blue Devils, and they are known around the state. Very impressive group. The bands, honestly, have been great for the last 2 days, and we're going to send it down there in just a little bit. The band doesn't necessarily believe in music. They're more of a mime band is what I'm hearing from the truck. No, they're going to get something cooking here in a second. And great-looking group, and a great first half for the Blue Devils. They lead it by a touchdown. They are 24 minutes away from a date with Marist for the state championship. Let's turn things over to the Statesboro Blue Devils marching band. You're watching GP TV. That's the Marching Blue Devils. Alrighty, I think Lisa Weiss has a conversation with the man who made that great set happen. What do you got, Lisa?
That's right, Sig. Thank you very much. I'm with Daniel King, the band director for Statesboro High School. Very proud band director. I understand this was a performance you guys recently used in competition, and you did fairly well with it.
That's correct. We played at the Coastal Empire Classic. We competed in Quad A, and we took second place, following only behind Perry High School.
And I just have to say, you guys are playing the music of Big Bad Voodoo Daddy. I just like saying that word.
It's fun. That's the main reason we picked it, is because it's just fun to say over and over. Big Bad Voodoo Daddy.
How long have you guys been preparing to come and perform here at halftime?
Actually, it started back in early July. Started this whole thing back in early July, and then we've been tightening it up as we got into the playoffs.
Thank you so much. Steak, we'll send it back up to you.
Big Bad Voodoo Daddy. It does feel good to say, Bo.
Big Bad Voodoo Daddy.
Yeah. All right.
So it's contagious.
I hope the Tucker Band's got something that's fun to say as well. It's 14-7. We'll come back. Tucker Band taking the field. Tucker football team going to do that too. They're down 7. We'll come back to the Dome. And we're back here at the Georgia Dome, halftime of Statesboro and Tucker. Let's take a moment here and see what the marching Maroon Storm, the Tucker Marching Band, Marching Maroon Storm. Let's see what they have in store for us. Alrighty, Lisa Weiss is down on the sideline, and she's going to talk to the man who helped put that together.
Thanks, Steak. I'm with Tucker's band director, Kevin Jones, and I know you have been just excited and anxious to get here, as the Tucker Tigers have been, to finally get to the Dome.
Absolutely. We've been waiting on this for a very long time. Yeah, we've been really excited about it. Yeah.
How long did it take you guys to put together your show for this?
This one's actually been pretty amazing. With basketball season going on and cheerleading, we got probably like 8 or 9 basketball cheerleaders and 15 basketball players. Our band is a basketball team. It's been a challenge to kind of get things together, but we put this show together in pretty much about 4 days.
Are you serious? And I know you're also excited not only to finally get to play at the Dome, but that your band's got new uniforms this year.
Yes, man. We're really excited to get the uniforms. It took us a good little while to get them, but the craftsmanship's great. The people that put the uniforms together have been fantastic. Customer relations were great. So when the uniforms came in, the kids were excited, and I was more excited than they were, I think.
Now, I know that you have basketball players that are also in the band. Do you ever get nervous that if they get hurt in the basketball game, they won't be able to? You got a small band there. They're not that many players.
I was about to say, I sit at the basketball games and pray that no one gets injured. So I worry about them quite a bit, and I'm sure the coaches worry about them on the band field too. So we have pretty intense shows. So they get out there and move around a little bit, and they want us to make sure that they're okay for them too. So.
Well, at least if Tucker wins today, y'all will get to play again at a halftime, I'm sure, at Marist.
We're hoping for it. We want that rematch.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you. Stake, back up to you.
Of course, referring to a Tucker loss to Marist earlier this year, 31-19 at Marist's home field. Right now, Tucker's got some work to do. They're down 14-7. Let's take a look at what happened in the first half. It started out pretty nice for Tucker, but Brandon Young takes it to the house.
Yeah, he just blasted off the left side here. We talked about his speed all evening. Look at him hit a second gear there. He is really something. Good-looking running back.
7-0, and then it's time for Statesboro to grind it out up front. 1-yard touchdown.
And a second touchdown behind their fullback, and that's been their offense.
Watch this fumble here. Trying to make something happen. And T. McDowell fumbles. Looks like 2 Tucker players were there, but not able to recover it. And a huge recovery there by number 90, Jock Cooper. Rushing yards. Bo, look at total yards in the game.
Yeah, it's total yards 153 for Statesboro, and or rather for Tucker, and they've got the advantage. Only 87 for Statesboro, but they've made it count because of field position.
Look at the turnovers. 2 turnovers have been huge. They touch a punt that gets recovered by Statesboro. They fumble in the end zone, and basically Statesboro has taken advantage. They have ridden some of their big backs. Of course, they've ridden their fullback Charles Weaver blocking in front for Charles Rock and Tavius Roberts. Both kids look good. The senior Roberts and the sophomore Charles Rock have grinded it out. Penalties haven't been much of a factor. Tucker doesn't have any, but total yards almost double what Statesboro has. But turnovers has killed them. Rushing yards, Tucker's running pretty well as well. And here's the good news. Tucker can throw the football. They can get back in the game real quick, and they'll have a chance if they can stop Mundy. Statesboro gets the football back, and we come back for a semi-final action live at the Georgia Dome. Statesboro trying to go to the state title game at Marist. Tucker wants the same thing. We'll come back and find out how it plays out on GP TV. Back at the Georgia Dome here in downtown Atlanta, Georgia. Stake Shapiro and Bo Bach as Statesboro leads Tucker 14-7 in what was a first half full of some big plays.
Yeah, it really was, and devastating result for Tucker as you're just approaching intermission, fumbling the ball into the end zone, and Statesboro able to wrest it away from them. You're about to score there, you're about to tie it up, you're in the game. I actually thought that Statesboro had a greater margin of time of possession than they have, which is about 14 minutes to 11 minutes, but it seems as though Tucker didn't have the ball that often because of those turnovers.
Yeah, and for Tucker, you talk about emotionally going into the locker room. One of the keys, certainly for Bill Ballard, is going to be to get his troops saying, hey, look, we've moved the football, and we just need to stay positive. And Lisa Weiss has Coach Ballard.
Bill Ballard, I know you guys are driving down the field, and that's got to be a tough way to go into the half with Statesboro's defense coming up big like that.
Yeah, that was a tough break. We've had some breaks tonight that have gone against us. Our guys are playing real hard, though, and I think they've got a great team, and I think we've got a good team. We just got to come out and not make as many mistakes this half and do a good job controlling the ball and moving it down the field and try to get off the field when they have the ball. We've done some things where, we had the guy stopped and we let them get a big play or whatever. So we've got to do things that are going to help us get back in this ball game. We're just down a touchdown. I told the guys at half, we've moved the ball on them the whole game. All we've got to do is come down and score a couple times, and we can win this game. So, we're still in it, and it's, nothing to worry about. We just got to come out and fight.
All right, Coach Bill Ballard, thank you so much. Good luck in the second half. Stake, back up to you.
Great job, Lisa, getting Coach Ballard. Obviously, Bo, keeping his guys up. Last night we saw Maris score late in the first half in a game that, you know, they were trying to hang around in. It's against Thomas County Central. That tied it at 14, and they were off to the races after halftime.
Yeah, he was talking to Lisa like he talked with his team at halftime, just almost pleading with them and making sure that there's no way they could be down when they come out for the second half, that you have to put that behind you and you have to just carry on. You are moving the ball against them, and just now, you know, minimize those mistakes.
Well, they're not going to have the football first. Football will go to Statesboro to start the second half. It'll give David Cohn a chance to get his big guys involved. Charles Rock and obviously Charles Weaver up front, who has done a phenomenal job blocking, and Tavius Roberts, the fine tailback, number 30, who is a guy on the goal line that's been so tough. And, you know, this is a team that Statesboro, many people didn't think would be going this far. They had a huge upset, many people felt, against Ware County, who was ranked well ahead of them. They were unranked coming into the postseason. They had a couple of losses and a tie during the regular season, but they have put it all together. They're 10-2-1. They have a lead at halftime here, and they won a state title here a couple of years ago. So,
well, look at them here. They're fundamentally sound. They don't do anything where they put themselves in too much danger. They run the ball, they run it hard, and they play tough-nosed defense.
This is old school football the way you like it, Bo.
This is old Slobodka football right here. This is Pigskins.
I didn't say old timers. Notice I was respectful. No. I said old school. The Dean of Atlanta knows what it's about. And that's bobbled on the kickoff there by Etheridge, and they are going to be cut down at the 12. There's a flag down on the play as well. If this goes against Statesboro, it's everything that Tucker was looking for, which is basically being able to get some field position advantage early in the half.
Reverse that field possession disadvantage that they had in the first half, and I thought that it was kind of lackadaisical going after that football.
It was, you know, there's no reason that it should be up, you know, over your head. You got to back up on the ball and catch it in the pads.
I think he might have thought he was in the end zone. It would be a touchback, and not realizing it was just inside the 5.
They have a block in the back on the receiving team, half the distance to the goal, first and 10.
Well, you know that's going to drive Buzz Busby crazy, Bo. I mean, here they are with a touchdown lead, and they're kicking off, and all they want to do is just try to establish something. Now they're backed up all the way to their 7-yard line, and you saw that graphic. Statesboro's won 3 straight titles, and won a couple of years ago. Buzz Busby has won a couple. One of them, of course, here at Statesboro. Another one he won at Kendrick. So he knows what that kind of game is all about. First and 10 at the 7. Cohn to start the half will give straight ahead to Charles Rock. And Rock will try to work his way out for maybe a yard, not even. Second and 10.
Well, that's what Coach Ballard was talking about before the game. We get 5 guys at the point of attack. They block down with the center to the right side, and then they pull the guard and tackle to the left to lead the running back, and they get that going, they're going to be difficult to beat.
Bill Ballard knows that defensively this is a huge series for his club. Give it straight ahead now, and he breaks a tackle. Tavius Roberts out across the 15 to the 17-yard line, and just like that, they have some breathing room.
Yeah, they do, and they are very resourceful and tough. The offensive line is doing a tremendous job.
Trey Buis making the hit, but there on second and 10, Bo. That's just a huge, huge football play. It's kind of a play when you go back and look at films. You look at your offensive line, you tailback, and you say, you score out high on that one. That was huge to get them out of their own end zone. First and 10. Cohn hands off. That's Roberts. Roberts is across the 20 to the 22-yard line. Brought down on the play by Andrew McCain, who was going to have everything, basically pull everything he has, Bo, in the second half, playing both ways and being one of their key guys.
Well, that's so important. I mean, Statesboro's got 2 complete units. They don't have anybody that goes both ways, and that's got to figure in the fourth quarter.
No question. 15 carries, 56 yards already for Tavius Roberts. Second and 7 for Cohn. Wishbone formation behind him at the 21-yard line. Cohn will give to Roberts. Roberts trying to worm his way outside the 20 and doesn't have much there. And now the Tucker Tigers have another third down opportunity to get the football back in the hands of their star quarterback, D.T. McDowell.
Now it's 3rd and long. We haven't seen much of that Statesboro has been in. See if they choose to throw it here. Probably not.
Well, their first 3 possessions, Bo, they had a couple of 3rd and longs, and they converted the last 2 of them. 2 out of 3, and those were 2 big ones that they got late to help keep drives alive. Tucker been struggling 1 for 5. 3rd and 6, wishbone formation behind Holmes. He gives it ahead, and it's his tailback, Nick Wedlow, who is about what do we got, Bo? Half yard, maybe short? Are we, Wedlow, by the way.
About 2 yards short.
They'll mark it out at the 31. He's a yard short. It's 4th and 1. They'll punt, and Wedlow came in late in the second half, late in the first half. Had a couple of nice carries near the goal line, but not enough there. He picks up 5 on 3rd and 6. Lonnie Brown will punt. Trey Buice will return, and it goes out of bounds. Buice, of course, had the unfortunate situation in the first half where his hand touched the ball after the bounce. Statesboro recovered, and they were off to the races, getting the momentum on their side. 14-7, Statesboro leading, but Tucker holds early in the second half.
Well, it is the second half. It's a whole new ball game right now for them. Right now, they control the field position. They've got to take advantage of it.
1st and 10, quarterback D.T. McDowell, the senior, 6'1", 194 pounds, takes his club down 7, out for their first possession of the second half. He drops straight back to pass. Wide open man is caught, and James Swinton knocked down after a gain of about 5 on the play. Swinton, Bo, yet to get it cooking tonight.
No, you know they're setting them up with those short throws. They're playing that horizontal game.
No doubt.
They're gonna pump and go.
5 for 6 tonight, Bo, but for modest yards. And when you have D.T. McDowell's arm and kids like Swinton and Rajon Alexander, there's a chance to open it up and go down the field. Swinton wide left, I formation now behind McDowell. Takes the pitch, inside handoff across to Roberts. Roberts got a Hamilton Sims, the junior getting a carry, the junior fullback. Not a lot of size on him, Bo, but a nice little job there.
No, and then a little counter look to it, too. And Sims, as we said, that's the 5'6", 180-pounder who will high jump 6'8". So, he's got a lot of, he's got some live legs.
Yeah, and he's got a first down, so it's 1st and 10 now for the Tucker Tigers. Trying to go after their first state title. They're going to have to get something going here. McDowell under center, I formation behind him. In motion, Rajon Alexander. The handoff is straight ahead to Brandon Young, and Young is cut down with a gain of a few on the play. Bo, the big story early on was whether or not Thomas Brown, the outstanding tailback dressing for the first time in many weeks, would see action tonight. We both talked to the coach before the game and kind of felt it was more of a decoy than anything else.
Well, just a few yards short of 1,000 yards into Game 7. He was really special.
Bo, he's one of the premier tailbacks in America. He's going to the University of Georgia, and they thought losing would be devastating. It has not been the case. 2nd and 8 on the play. Back to pass, looking downfield. A strike delivered and caught by James Swinton. 2 big-time players showing off their wares. McDowell to Swinton down to about the 22-yard line.
Well, it's only a matter of time because Statesboro is giving them man coverage outside. And I think they have the opportunity to throw it a lot more.
Wow, look at that stick landing on his head, Bo. That's why the kid is a 1A player. He's going to Auburn. He's going to play receiver there. And look at the shot he takes. Trayson Wilkerson just unloads. And so does Black the corner. A little swing pass out to the outside. That is gain of about 7 on the play. Rajon Alexander with the catch. Bo still seemed to say if you're gonna not bump us at the line and give us 5 yards, we'll just take it.
They'll just take that. But they could creep up. You'll give them that pump and go, and you hope the corner bites on it, and then you've got them up top.
They're not even coming up, Bo, that much. And they will eventually. They keep leaving that wide open. 2nd and 3, I formation behind McDowell. McDowell gives the handoff to Hamilton Sims. He breaks the tackle, and he's down to about the 11.
Yeah, a little fire plug. Got those thighs, got those big, thick thighs and that little body, and it just keeps him churning.
Setting up a big 3rd down and 1. Trayson Wilkerson making the hit, but look at him break through that big mass of bodies at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, leverage he gets. Gets underneath everybody.
Referee wants a timeout. Tucker. What was the call there, Mr. Bach?
Timeout for measurement.
All right.
Isn't it amazing that a young man that size can high jump 6'8"? I mean, that's really phenomenal.
he is an athlete, and they need about a foot. Not even inches.
You know, it's probably a world record for a man his size. Wouldn't you think?
I don't know.
Let's give it to him.
I think you're obsessed with
Let's
this
give it
whole
to him.
You've probably mentioned his high jump 5 times in the broadcast. We've been on him.
5'6". High jumping 6'8".
Your obsession with track and field events needs to be reeled in. 3rd and 1. 3rd and inches. Straight ahead, no question about it. McDowell gets the first down. Bo, how crucial is this drive for Tucker? They've had the 3-and-out stop in the first quarter, followed by the punt that they fumbled. They had the big drive, which ended up being culminated with a fumble in the end zone. Here's another situation. They hold Statesboro, they get the ball back and they're driving.
Well, most importantly, you're also keeping Statesboro's offense, which now is on track off the field.
1st and goal at the 10. 1st and goal. In trouble here. A lot of space. McDowell, 5-3, touchdown! Wow! The kid going to Nebraska shows off his athleticism. Mr. Bach, that was big time.
That was, and you have to look at the right defensive end for Statesboro. He's going to have to answer the coach about why he didn't have contain, because the whole flow of the Tucker offense was to the right side. There was nobody defensively left over there except for your defensive end. He's got to contain. He was able to get to outside and score easily.
Blake Harrell tried to tie it. Bo, how much do you think he was thinking about that previous fumble as he started heading to the end zone?
Well, you know, it looked to me, by the way, there's 8 plays, 52 yards, almost 4 minutes. I thought that he should have been thinking about it, and I thought he had the ball flying around a little bit again.
Let's watch it again. Again, they roll him right and a little
look, everybody's
fake
covered.
handoff. Now, the whole other side of the field, he kind of rolled right. Now he goes airborne. Let's see where the football is when he goes airborne. Well, I think he had a little bit better protection there, Bo, too. And I think he had to be saying, look, you know, I got plenty of time to get in the end zone. Even if I'm knocked out at the 1.5-yard line, make sure you hold on to the football.
Yeah, did a good job that time.
He did do a good job. Let's watch another angle. Great work by the crew here at GPTV, giving a couple of different looks here. You see, everybody's out on the right flat, and he just goes the other way, Bo. He takes it down the left sideline. Now watch the athleticism. This kid, by the way, is being recruited and going to Nebraska as a quarterback. And the Cornhuskers, Bo, they fired Frank Solich. They want a more wide-open offense. They want to get back to a guy that can throw the football. Doesn't he play right into their plans down the line?
Well, that's why he's also looking, though, at Auburn and LSU right now.
I got the sense talking to his coach that he's still going to go to Nebraska. That ball is over Charles Rock's head, and Statesboro will take over, tied at 14 with 5:54 to go in the quarter. You know, I know it was in the paper today that he's decided that after the playoffs he will talk to some other schools based on the decision with Frank Solich, but I think talking to Coach Ballard before the game, he said he's still committed to Nebraska. That's neither here nor there. What's here is a 14-all tie with 5:54 to go in the 4A semifinal game here at the Georgia Dome, with 2 impressive programs battling it out for the chance to play Marist next week for the state championship on Friday night. David Cone under center, wishbone formation behind him. The give is straight ahead and pounded by Charles Rock.
Now Statesboro's got to reestablish that bone again and just to use the clock.
Interesting in this wishbone, it's an old-fashioned wishbone in the sense it's not one where David Cone will carry the football. He is a 6'6" sophomore, but he doesn't really carry the football very often, Bo. He's just going to decide which one of these guys gets it, and very often it's an inside handoff. They blocked tremendous for him up front. Cone now the handoff to Rock. Rock breaks the tackle, across the 35, and he's out of bounds at the 38-yard line. And that's what we're talking about, Bo. He's driven out of bounds by Trey Buice. But that blocking up front really came through, and the tailback did a great job.
Yeah, that was a great lead block by Charles Weaver. And then you see him doing the rest. He was able to get shrug off that tackle because the blocker had a piece of that tackle, but then Buice brings him out. And by the way, David Cone doesn't run the ball because he runs after every play over the coach. Coach Busby and gets the play and brings it back.
Colt rushing, by the way, I want to mention him, the fine 245-pound senior. Great block on the play. First and 10, 39-yard line. Handoff is up the middle. Ball is loose. And recovered there. David Cone. Tavius Roberts lost it. David Cone recovered. No, he had it the whole time.
It's on his hip.
He faked us out. He faked the camera crew out. He faked the whole, everybody up here. Now they were looking again to do another Ruski play, but look at that play by number 19, Brandon Lang, the defensive play of the night, Bo. He wasn't fooled.
Well, Cone let a part of the ball, just the nose of the ball, sneak out on the right side. He saw it and took off again.
Huge play for the defense of Tucker. 2nd and 17, not a good spot for Statesboro here. Cone back to pass, looking downfield, a strike, and a beautiful throw and catch there. Xavier Jordan, the 5'10 senior, with the catch, but Statesboro to 3rd and 5.
Weiss out there again. It looks as though David can throw it a little bit.
Yeah, David Cone, nice job. Oh, you're 6'6 quarterback. This kid's got another couple of years to really get bigger and stronger. He's only at 175 pounds. And Cone takes a big shot there, Bo. Look at that.
He's under pressure, needs it. That's what Tucker's trying to do, soften up that Statesboro offense.
Big play here, 3rd, about 6 to go. Cone in trouble and throw to the turf. Back-to-back huge plays by the defense. Brandon Lang playing both ways and making it happen.
Well, after the fake, the running back is going to become a blocker, and he doesn't here. They're able to just break through there and bring him down. And as a sophomore, he's not seen too many of these situations. That's Brandon Lang.
Brandon Lang 19. Playing tight end as well. The punt is recovered. Swinton, he's down at the 29. Brandon Lang, Bo, is a 1A player. He's looking, I believe, at Florida State, Georgia. He's a kid with huge abilities. He's playing on the offensive line. He is a dominant player on defense. And he made 2 plays right there, Bo, that frankly, if you're going to go to a state championship game, you need a guy to make plays. You need your best players to step up. He did.
It's all about playmakers at a big-time level.
He showed that little inch of football, and that had him drill David Cone. And then Cone tried another ball fake, and he was there again.
Outside linebacker.
3:08 to go. 1st and 10 in the 3rd quarter, actually. 1st and 10. McDowell hands up straight ahead. Gain of about 4 on the play. It goes to Brandon Young. Tucker feeling the momentum come back in their hands, Mr. Bach?
I think so, Steak. It seems that way. It seems to be a little more spark in their step. They seem to be getting after it a little bit more. And I think that Brandon Young, if you're a Statesboro, you have to be very careful. Don't let him get a step.
Total yards so far, Tucker continues to lead, 196 to 122. Statesboro did get a few yards in his half, but it has not turned into anything. I formation behind McDowell. McDowell fakes the handoff. He will roll right. He'll look downfield, right over the middle and drops. Oh, baby. Tavares Kearney, the junior. Nothing but daylight in front of him for the most part. He's about 15 yards away from the safeties. Would have had more yardage to go downfield. Look at that, Bo. Nobody even in the picture.
You know, McDowell, he had to turn a little bit to get that ball.
I think he started running.
But you have to put that away before you think. I mean, that's a very catchable
When you're a head coach, Bo, you wait all day to call the right play at the right time, and you call that play, and it just opened up for you, and you didn't convert it. That's a killer. 14 all, 3rd and 6. Back to pass again. McDowell in trouble. McDowell off the football. And it looks like Tucker has recovered, and it's a 4th down. Fumble recovery by Clay Muirhead. Actually, it was Will Stewart maybe who may have picked it up.
He's somebody on that right offensive here, line. Comes out.
Yeah, he's trying to do too much. And Will Stewart.
If he comes out, just.
Wow.
At that point, he just had to get on it.
Will Stewart with a recovery, and Tucker one guy short in their punting formation, and they'll get ready to punt it away. So they don't take advantage of a big defensive stand. McDowell will kick it. And it is a kick recovered at the 40 there, and nothing going for Leroy Etheridge. But I'll tell you what is going, and that is good field position for Statesboro late in this third quarter. Bo, the Blue Devils hold there impressively.
Yeah, they really did, and I think that they couldn't get a return out of it. Great kick coverage by Tucker because they had the block on.
Yeah, the block was on, no question. It was a jailbreak because there were 7 Tucker players there, and basically Etheridge out on an island. 14 all, 1st and 10 for Statesboro, 1:31 to go. You see the graphic and the numbers. Sophomore quarterback David Cohn under center, Wishbone behind him, and he gives straight ahead to Charles Rock, and that's how they love to start every series, Bo, just giving it ahead to their tailback Rock, and he gets about 2 on the play.
And obviously, in the run the Wishbone, everything comes off that fullback dive. And I noticed that Tucker has changed their defensive front now, or at least they did on first down, to a 4-man front.
2nd and 8. Getting to a minute left here. And this is, to no surprise, going to probably come right down to the wire. 2 great teams battling it out of the Georgia Dome tonight. Cohn hands off there to Tavius Roberts, who gets down to about the 48-yard line. He'll set up another huge 3rd down situation before this quarter ends.
In fact, Tucker playing a 52 defense puts more men at the line of scrimmage, and I think that suits them better. They were in that last series as well when they were able to stop Statesboro.
Is there any reason to think, Bo, they're not going to just go straight ahead here? The last 2 times they've tried to get creative with Cohn, they've run into some trouble. I think they just give it to Roberts here or give it to one of their other tailbacks. And they do give it to Roberts, and he is across the 50 to the 49. Tackled by Mike Compton. He is right there at the marker. Very, very close to a 1st down. Let's see where they put him. Yes, indeed.
Great job. That lunge right at the end.
Well, again, Bo, you know, Cohn does a good job with the ball fake, but Tavius Roberts is your workhorse.
Timeout. Official measure.
It's Coach Ballard there looking on, and he knows he can't allow them to march down the field.
Either way, I mean, if they don't get it here, they're going to go for it on 4th down and just barrel ahead. And as we look at the spot, they are going to be about as close as you can be without getting a 1st down. You cannot be any closer than that. I hate to use the adage, Mr. Bach, when they say it is a game of inches, but if ever that were the case, a 4th down situation, an inch, 2 inches to go.
In that case, you've got a 6'6" quarterback. That's a game of inches. Might as well just let him fall forward.
That'll be the first play of the 4th quarter. And what kind of drama is that going to be? You'll have to sit through the break and come back to watch. It's going to be a heck of a 4th quarter. Statesboro 14, Tucker 14, and a 4th and 1 situation midfield coming up. You're watching GPTV High School Football. We have a 14-14 tie here at the Georgia Dome, getting ready for the fourth quarter. We send it down to the very lovely Lisa Weiss on the sideline.
All right, thanks, Steak. Now with me is one and only Thomas Brown, the tailback from Tucker High School. Now you got injured in week 7. Has it been tough for you to be here on the sidelines, your team finally making it to the Georgia Dome?
It's been extremely tough for me, but I just been here to support them and, encourage them and give them positive words. But it's really tough, though. It's hard for me.
All right, is there any words of encouragement that you gave your team before today's game?
I just told them that we one game away from going to the state championship. That's what we've been working on since last season. So that's all I really told them. You don't really have to say much for this game.
All right, thank you so much, and good luck to you next year at Georgia. Steak, back up to you.
Wow, you want to talk about playing a little bit conservative, 4th and inches. They are going to play the field position game.
Well, may try to draw him off sides here, Steak.
Lonnie Brown going to punt it away for Statesboro. And it is going to be fielded there, right through his hands. Statesboro has it. Wow!
That's Weiss.
Bo, it has been a very tough night for that young man, Trey Weiss. It's the second time this has happened. It went right through his hands. I was just about to say I did not agree with the move.
From all the play recovered by the kicking team. 1st and 10.
By Buzz Busby, because he was only gaining about 25 yards. Maybe he feels that this kid is not able to handle some of the pressure that's been thrown at him tonight. Bo, you feel awful for him, Trey Weiss, but he has really hurt his football team a couple of times tonight. Tucker was about to get the football back, and here comes Coach Ballard, wants to talk to his defense. This is a huge situation right here. Bo, what can you say? Just
that's a timeout, Tucker.
That was
first charge timeout.
That was recovered. That muff was recovered by Jurian Black, who's a free safety for Statesboro. But here what you have to tell them now is, set your defense and just remind them of things that you've seen on film that they might do to cross you up.
Well, I mean, you know what they're going to do. They're going to pound the football. They're going to pound it at you. They're going to utilize that offensive line. Junior Terrence Jackson at left tackle. Leon Lonan, the junior at left guard. Brennan Palmer, the sophomore center. Chris Roberts, the right guard. He's a senior. And Colt Rushing, the senior right tackle. That is an impressive group. And Coach Ballard knows they have moved the football, Bo Tucker, all night long. And now they're in a very tough situation here. Statesboro, 1st and 10 at the 12-yard line. Wishbone formation, straight ahead carry. What's what they do on 1st down, and they get some success. Charles Rock running over the left tackle.
Against that 5-man front, just a great blocking at the point of attack. They do a sensational job.
2nd and we'll call it 7 or a long 6. But again, that Coach Busby there deciding to play it conservatively and ends up with a football, and that could be one of the biggest decisions of this football game. Wishbone formation behind Cone. He gives it to the little scat back tailback Nick Wedlow, and Wedlow gets a couple maybe. Again, a super job by Tucker holding the fort. Hamilton Sims, we talked about him, Bo, as a fullback. He also happens to be a nose guard, and he made the play.
I know, that's what I'm talking about, that kid. Here, you're facing 3rd and 6. We may see that counter that we've seen from them where they've been able to pick up good yardage.
3rd and 5, wishbone formation. No, they're out of that now. Single back behind. They give it to the tailback around the 3 outside, and it looks like they're very close to the 1st down. Nick Wedlow needed to get to the 2-yard line, and again they just led their offensive line to the left through the pitch, got him out in front, and Bo, look at the job by the offensive line down the field.
Georgia's rallying cry for the last 2 years has been finish the drill. How about finish the run? He finishes the run.
Charles Weaver, the fullback, continues to be a key lead blocker out front and doing a phenomenal job as we have 1st and goal at the 2-yard line. Bo, a gutsy play that they execute on 3rd and 5 by just using their fullback and their 2 big offensive linemen out there and letting that speed of Nick Wedlow take over. They're on the goal line here. 1st and goal at the 2. Handoff is into the end zone to Nick Wedlow. Yes, indeed. Statesboro takes advantage of the muffed punt. And just like that, early fourth quarter, Statesboro a chance to go up by 7.
Statesboro's in the wishbone business. You might as well tend to your knitting. That's exactly what they did. Didn't do anything sneaky, anything tricky. They just came right at Tucker. You've got to think those guys going both ways. They're starting to take its toll now.
Zach Sanders attempt the extra point. It's good. And here's the difference, Bo. You know, they've been pounding you all day with Charles Rock, the sophomore. And we'll watch Wedlow here, by the way, on this touchdown run. They've been pounding all day with Charles Rock, the big sophomore, and, of course, Tavius Roberts. And you got Charles Weaver, the fullback, in front of you. But then they bring in a kid that hasn't had as many carries, and now the quickness factor.
You can see it. You can see the quickness factor. Not so much on the touchdown as the play before that. He was just really quick and just very explosive at the tackle line.
And Jimmy Coleman, the linebacker for Tucker, Brandon Lang, Andrew McCain, Hamilton Sims, Clay Muirhead, they're all going both ways, Bo. So now you bring in a guy you got to start chasing, and I think it's been an impressive job utilizing that aspect. As Buzz Busby says, I'm going to go with a little bit of a different look here and get a little speed involved, and it worked on that 12-yard drive.
Well, now we're going to see Tucker. We're going to see D.T. McDowell. See him show off that arm.
They have had
plenty of time.
They have had to pick themselves up a number of times tonight, Paul. Some devastating plays have worked against them when it looked like they were getting back in or getting in control of the game. You know, the fumble in the end zone, the 2 fumbled punts, the defense holds, and they're going to have to pick themselves up again. They've moved the football all day. No reason to think they can't do it here, and they've got some outstanding players on offense. Let's see what we got. Short kick now. It's going to be fielded at the 18-yard line by Swinton. Swinton outside at 25, and great coverage here. Knocked down at the 25-yard line, and a chance for McDowell to take over.
You know, I'm just thinking back to that muff punt, and you know, obviously you've got your most reliable kid back there at a time like this in the big game, and all of a sudden he's looking up in this dome in a different background, a different situation, and if you're just not able to judge it correctly,
went right through. I mean,
went right through the wickets.
Yeah, right through the wickets. Is it the pressure of a championship type game? Who knows? 10:24 to go, first and 10. 26-yard line for McDowell. Looking up the middle, he's going to run the football across the 30, 35, and oh man, he's knocked down at the 36. You can hear the pads crunching, but a gain of 9 on the play. Big time hit by Tommy Watkins.
Good call. Spread him out a little bit and then call the quarterback draw, and D.T. McDowell
watch Grady Young
can
here.
Run a little bit.
Wow. We saw it last night. The toughness of these kids, Bo, at this level, playing a game where they just keep getting bigger and stronger.
Second and short. Now you've got a chance to do something foxy here if you want to.
I formation. 2 wide receivers set. And they'll go for the first down and will not get it. They lose a yard or 2 on the play. Brandon Young met by Alex Deacle, the sophomore. Bo, how about a 6'2", 250-pound sophomore that you're going to have for a couple more years making a play there?
Yeah, Statesboro looks as though they're going to be solid for a while. I thought they may go play action here, try to go up top, try to hit them on short and long with them all bunched up.
I think they really wanted to be able to move the chains and get the first down, and they'll have another shot at it. They're called a long 1, 3rd and 1. They give the handoff, and a nice job getting across by Jimmy Coleman, also a 2-way player. He's a linebacker, he's a fullback. Who knows, maybe he tapes ankles before the game too, but he gets the first down. Coleman, a huge play there, Bo, and give credit to the left side of the offensive line. Andrew McCain, Bo, playing both ways, the senior, helping out big time.
Now you've got to find a way to get the ball in Brandon Young's hands and get him in space.
Look for Swinton, Bo, also to get involved here. He's wide right. Alexander, first and 10, drops back to pass, gives the handoff. That's the play that went deep last time. And a big-time run by Brandon Young. Both similar play that went for 65 for the touchdown in the first half.
It was the draw, same play. The draw went for 65, and the draw comes back here, and he's able to bang him big. Good vision, great vision. All good backs have to have great vision.
Seems to freeze the defense when it looks like he's dropping back to pass here. Then he gives a little inside handoff, and you see the pass rush, Bo. Once again, you're getting Statesboro running up the field, and Brandon Young is going right by him. Pass.
Good call.
Great catch. And tight end is open. Brandon Lang down to the 10, down to the 6. Brandon Lang making plays on defense, making plays on offense, and Tucker is in business inside the 10.
Great call, great throw, excellent catch.
Wow. You got to admire these kids on Tucker Bowl playing both ways, especially that young man. 42 yards on the catch. Wow.
Brandon Lang right there was dragging coming back to the huddle. Nice catch, perfect throw, and then an excellent run. And you just want him to put it away here. Just 2 hands on the ball. Oh, that was so close.
Timothy Brazel kind of lunges at it, not able to put him down. I thought he may go for the end zone after that. Double tight end formation. The handoff outside, trying to get around the corner is Brandon Young, and he's getting very close. Down to about the 3-yard line. Tucker keeps answering, Bo, and a chance to tie this thing up. Corey Rushing, the sophomore, another impressive young man, making the tackle.
He's a swivel-hipped young man. We've seen some good-looking athletes in this game on both sides. 109 yards for him tonight on 11 rushes.
That's Brandon Young having a big night, averaging over or close to 10 yards a carry. 2nd and goal at the 4-yard line. Handoff inside, gain of maybe a yard for Jimmy Coleman, and fingernail biting time for fans of both these schools. It'll be 3rd and goal. The clock will be under 7 minutes by the time this play goes off. Statesboro, the Blue Devils, leading Tucker 21-14. The 4A semifinal matchup here at the Georgia Dome. Winner advances. They'll be at Marist on Friday night.
That Statesboro defensive line still pretty stout.
A huge play in this football game. The handoff to Brandon Young. He is not going to get there. He is down to the 1. Decision time for Coach Ballard, but is there a decision, Bo, or not?
There's no decision here. The only decision you have is where you want to run him, and I think you have to get him outside. The wide side of the field is to the left. The boundaries to the right. Get him on a toss sweep to the left side. Let him make some decisions.
You talking about Brandon Young?
Yeah.
I keep it in the quarterback hands here, Bo. I keep it in the hands of DT McDowell, run or pass. He is the athlete. You're just outside the 1. You need about 2 yards here. And he'll roll right. He's got a guy wide open. Touchdown, Brandon Lang, and isn't it fitting that that young man, great job rolling right, they release the tight end, Bo, and they get the 6.
He was blocking down and waited 1 count, 2 count, then you release to the left side, and linebackers were not able to account for him.
Great call by Tucker. Did not hesitate for a second. Blake Parr with a very big extra point, and remember, it was Ware County missing an extra point that allowed Statesboro to advance a few weeks ago. Let's see what Blake can do here. 21-all, 6 minutes to go, guys. Maybe the game of the weekend we've been watching. Watch the replay. They roll right. They have a lot of room on that side of the field, and Statesboro bit, Bowen.
Guys, how many times have we seen this pass that takes so long to get there, it's so long in the air that the receiver's locked onto it, and you almost lock up.
Very similar to the Veron Haynes catch we've talked to him about, the famous catch at Tennessee when he was wide open. David Green floated it to him. I'm sure that the ball's sitting up in the air the way it did right there. You just say, let me hold on to this thing. Brandon Lang made the big 42-yard catch, and then he makes the touchdown catch at the goal line. But give a lot of credit to Tucker and their head coach. They don't hesitate. They knew exactly what they wanted to call on the goal line. There's a scoring drive.
10 plays, 74 yards, time 4:20.
Let's go down to Lisa Weiss.
All right, thanks, Dick. Now, Buzz Busby told me the one thing that concerned him the most about this Tucker offense was DT McDowell. He said not only can that kid run, he can throw, and he's done both today. He's ran for touchdowns, and he's thrown for touchdowns. Steak, back to you.
Thank you, Lisa. Touchback called Chris Rock at the 20 is where Statesboro will take over.
Now we're going to see some old-timey wishbone football.
Brandon Lang getting pounded there at the goal line on the defensive side, trying to hold off Statesboro, then turns around and just makes plays.
9 of 11, 113 yards. Good night, and a TD for DT.
He'll go to Nebraska potentially next year, unless he were to change his mind. He looks like a star, though, doesn't he, Bo? He has that swagger about him. 1st and 10, Statesboro. They'll run a little outside there to Nick Wedlow, and there's nothing doing there. Mike Compton, the sophomore, comes up and makes the hit on that.
Look at them string it out. Great penetration in the middle of the offensive line, and then they string it out.
And
here they come. Look at him outside, working it, and not letting him get outside. And that's been what the 52 has enabled them to do.
Andrew McCain also coming up and making a play there. He's part of the offensive line for Tucker. These kids are going to be exhausted when this thing is over. 2nd and 11, handoff. Oh, big time hit. Tavius Roberts is cut down by Christian Solomon.
There's a counter coming back at them, which went for big yards for Statesboro earlier. In fact, twice earlier.
He's waiting for it, Bo. That sounds like a linebacker's name, doesn't it? Christian Solomon. And Tucker with a huge opportunity, backing Statesboro into a 3rd and 9, but they have answered a number of times 3rd and long. They've been phenomenal on 3rd down tonight, Bo. Let's see what they have here. They'll get out of the straight wishbone formation. Look to maybe throw the football. They'll fake the inside handoff and sack on the play. And who else would you expect it to be but number 19, Brandon Lang?
That secondary of Tucker did a great job. There was nobody open.
People watching around the state getting used to watching college and pro football every weekend, Bo. These are high school kids going both ways. These are high school kids playing at the highest level in the 4A semifinal game, and you got a kid doing everything in his power to control this game. Here's the punt. It's a good one. And I don't think anybody's going to go after it. Stay away from the football, I'm sure, was the instruction. James Swinton backs away. A pretty good punt. It continues to roll, and it's going to be down at the 42-yard line. But, you know, Bo, I think a lot of people are under the impression that this doesn't happen anymore. The kid's playing both ways. Brandon Lang is absolutely dominating both sides of the field.
Well, it happens a lot. Statesboro doesn't have anybody, but, of course, we've got those big-time athletes, and you need them to go both ways. You need to make plays. You just don't have enough people at Tucker.
You think about what kind of shape these kids have to be in, Bo, to be playing in this level of a game.
Remind me of myself.
1st and 10, 43-yard line. Tucker, shotgun formation. There it is again, that inside handoff around the outside. And break the tackle. Ball's loose. Statesboro has it. Oh, what a killer for Tucker. John Lee recovering the football. Jimmy Coleman with a fumble. The big fullback, another one of these kids. Another one of these kids who has played both ways. And Bo, what happened on that play?
Well, just then knocked out by number 19, by the free safety, or 39 rather, Jaron Black. And you see him come over with that right hand. Here comes that right hand in there, right there. Just knocked it out.
And a great run straight ahead to start the possession for Tavius Roberts. Bo, how many times can Tucker survive their own mistakes? 4 minutes left in this game.
There's Brandon Lang going both ways. He's got 3 sacks. Looking for him to get another one.
I'm sure, Bo, that Jimmy Coleman, who just had that fumble, he's number 3. Watch for him to want to make a play here to get back. 2nd and 3, wishbone formation. And, oh, great job up front there. Gain of maybe 1 on the play. Andrew McCain making the hit.
Jimmy Coleman, after that run, that fumble, and made a great run out of it, came up limping. He limps back out there, getting after it.
What a ball game. 2:55 to go And that Tucker sideline needs another stop. 3rd and 2. I would not expect them to go if they don't get it here. Tucker could get the football back with a lot of yards to go. Handoff Roberts, and he is across the 45, about the 43, and it looks like he's got the first down. Andrew McCain making the hit. First down. Statesboro, the Blue Devils are driving.
One thing about Statesboro, they run hard, they run tough. Watch him hit the hole. Watch him hit the hole. Quick, tough, nasty. Great tackle by McCain.
2:25 to go in this football game. The 4A semis come down to this. Statesboro with the football at the 43. Handoff to Charles Rock, gets about 3 on the play. Will Buzz Busby, Bo, open things up a little bit here to try to get in field goal range? The clock is moving. 2 minutes.
I don't think so. He's going to smash mouth face on.
Bo, we're getting the...
He's just coming right at Tucker. He doesn't want to get fancy.
He may not want to get fancy, but there's the kicker warming up. That's Zach Sanders. He may have a very big night ahead of him one way or another. 2nd and 7, wishbone formation. David Cone. Here's the handoff and some major pounding up front. Tavius Roberts. I can't say enough about both these teams, Bo. Battling this thing out. Now we're in a 3rd and 6 situation. Not in field goal range at the 39. And Tucker having kids playing both ways, trying to hang on for their life and get the football back or get this to overtime.
What a shot that was. It was hit first by Kareem James. Tough, tough football. Both sides playing it.
3rd and 6. There's the handoff, trying to get outside. He's got a block down the sideline. The 20, the 15, and Roberts knocked out of bounds at the 14-yard line. Mike Compton makes the hit, and Bo, all night long on 3rd down, they made plays. They did it again, and I'm sorry, Charles Weaver continues to be the key, the fullback, mashing people.
Yeah, he really was. Watch 34 here. Boom. And now they were pounding up the middle, Steak, just wearing them out up the middle, and then just bounce it outside. Just a great call. 105 yards for Roberts now.
And there he is. Right. Fumble! Fumbles on the ground! Tucker has the football!
59 seconds to go. And the arm of D.T. McDowell.
Tavares Kearney with the recovery. Like a gift from the heavens, Tucker gets the football back. They wanted to center the football, Bo, and pound it up the middle, and Tucker has killed themselves all night by turning it over. Kareem James knocks it loose, and Tucker is in business.
And somebody else got their helmet on the football. I couldn't tell who it was. He was in the crowd, but that's what knocked it loose, and you feel like Statesboro went to the well once too often.
Tavares Kearney with the recovery. That's one ball he never wants to give up. They're going to not sit back on this one in the end zone. They're going for it all, and it is intercepted. Right back at the 35-yard line. Cherry and Black covering James Swinton. Well, I'll tell you this much. That was a 65-yard throw. There's only 50 seconds left, but Bo, what about it?
Well, I didn't think that was necessary at that point. I think he had plenty of time to work the middle of the field. He was double covered.
Well, you didn't have plenty of time, but you had 50 seconds. I mean, either you have
plenty of time to work the sidelines and march the ball downfield. You didn't have to go for a home run on first down from your end zone.
I would have run the football is what I would have done.
Well, you might have run it, sure. You have plenty of time to work in a couple of different things.
You got new life. Another Ruski play. Ball is thrown. They want a grounding call. Say no receiver around. No penalty there as David Cone. This action is like rapid fire.
It's like a pinball machine.
Bill Ballard going crazy on the sideline saying there was no receiver around. That should be intentional grounding. Bo, you just got the biggest gift. You got the football back. Why would you back your quarterback into the end zone and throw it 60 yards?
I don't know why you had to go for the home run there.
I mean, throw one of those swing passes that you've been working all night long. 2nd and 10, 45 seconds to go in this one, otherwise we're headed to overtime. The handoff is up the middle, and a nice gainer. He almost broke it. Nick Wedlow came very close, Bo, as the clock continues to move.
Look how quick and how fast he is at this point in the game. Wedlow, they really have a stable
Great
of running
blocking up
backs.
front. I mean, great blocking. And Wedlow looked like he was close to actually breaking that thing all the way. Timeout called by Statesboro. Give us a chance to catch our breath. If you're a high school football fan or a college or a pro or just a sports fan, you have to be loving the drama playing itself out right now. We got the two guys coming in for the 5A game, shaking our heads behind us. Joe Riggs looking at me, can't believe what's happening here.
Statesboro down there where Georgia Southern is and playing in the shadow of one of the great figures in our state, football figures, and that'd be Erskine Russell. Coach Irk down there, and I'm sure Coach Irk is watching on GPTV. Hey, Coach, how you doing? Good-looking high school club you sent up here.
And there are the fans. No matter what level it is, Bo, second-guessing the coaches is what fans do. And I think Coach Ballard right now, Bo, saying, get me to overtime. Get me to overtime. It looked like Statesboro was going to need about a 30-something yarder to win it. Now they're at the 50. Another handoff up the middle, and great running by Wedlow. Bo, he's coming dangerously close to breaking this thing, and I'm telling you, the Tucker is getting worn out. Timeout now.
Well, they really are. 6 guys stay going both ways, and then you're bringing it back like Wedlow.
Watch the offensive line, Bo, what you're talking about. Watch them just pound him downfield. Look at this.
Look at that. Standing everybody up, getting all they want. Wedlow driving fresh.
Now, Bo, do you think if they get to overtime that the adrenaline will be enough to carry them over? Or do you look at overtime as being a huge advantage for Statesboro with all those guys going both ways?
No, I think so, yeah. I think definitely an advantage for Statesboro because they've got 2 complete units, offense and defense.
Imagine the defense, Bo, how demoralizing it is to make that play and say, you know what, we've saved the game, and 1 play later, you're back on the field.
Exactly.
No break. And now you're just trying to survive. They're about 15 yards away from a real good shot at kicking a field goal to win this thing.
Man coverage to the bottom of your screen.
Statesboro, 1 timeout left, and they were going to throw the football. Down the field, over the middle. Oh, he had a man almost hooked up. With Nick Wedlow again, utilizing that fine tailback. A bang-bang play, and I guarantee you that Tucker had their throat and their stomach on that one, Bo. Look at it.
Boy, that was a pretty good throw.
Great call, too.
The toughest throw in the business to make is when the receiver's running directly away from you down the middle. There's no depth perception, so you have to just put it out there on field. You can't see where you're throwing.
It's also where you get your guys, looking at the football and getting slammed over the middle because you got guys coming from all directions. Linebackers and corners. And Buzz Busby took a shot. He came close. 24 seconds left. Let's see if they go back to the air here. And they do. Cone looking downfield. Ball deflected. Oh. Almost intercepted. Wow.
Looking for Wedlow once again.
Well, Buzz Busby on 2nd and 1 and 3rd and 1 goes to the air, realizing this is not about picking up first downs. This is about getting enough yards to give our kicker a shot. 19 seconds to go, Bo. And probably try same thing, over the middle of the field, make a catch, get your kicker on the field.
Well, they're going for it right here.
Let's see what's in the arm of David Cone. Actually, they'll hand off on the outside. 35 and dragged down there at the 33-yard line. Tavius Roberts. Clock will move. 12 seconds to go. The chains, though, will slow it down as you get a first down on the play. And right now, it's been done. 50-yarders, certainly. Clock moving now with 9 seconds to go. They may try a 50-yarder and see if they can all go home. They're looking downfield. In trouble. Incomplete. And the question is, will they say 1 second left or not?
No.
Regulation ends. Bo, Mike Compton breaking up the pass. Bo, I thought maybe if you ran about 4 or 5 yards there, you had one timeout left, would have given you a chance to kick a 47-yarder.
Give it a try. Obviously, he doesn't have that much confidence in his kicker from that depth.
But it was the play took 12 seconds. Regardless, is there any other way for this thing to end? Well, play didn't take 12 seconds. By the time you start the clock after the first down, you lost the 12 seconds. But there's no better way for this thing to end than go to overtime.
Right. Coach Busby obviously didn't want to go to overtime. What we're going to do now, they've changed the overtime procedure in high school. It's very similar to college. Instead of starting, though, on the 25-yard line, each team will start on the 15.
We'll put it up on the board here. We're going to take a break. Basically what you need to know, instead of the 25, it starts at the 15 in high school. We'll update you on that, and we'll get you to overtime. Hang in there with us. 4A semifinals going to overtime at the Georgia Dome. Tied at 21. Well, we played 48 minutes of football on a Saturday night in the Georgia Dome, and we're going to play a little bit more. Statesboro and Tucker in what has been a incredibly exciting football game are now headed to overtime for a chance to advance to the state championship game in Marist to be played on Friday night. We'll review the Georgia overtime rules. Those of you familiar with the college game, Bo, not very different.
No, not very different. You start on the 25 in college. In high school, going to start on the 15. And on turnovers, of course, the ball is dead. And what this does, this procedure eliminates the old formula of trying to decide a winner on statistics.
Yeah, and that was the old formula in high school. Here it is right there. One note here to keep in mind.
One to toss, play defense.
Like the college game, teams must start.
Thank you. We're going in that direction.
White wins the toss, which means that Statesboro will probably get the ball second here to control their own destiny. Teams must go for a 2-point conversion, both starting with a third overtime possession. So they'll kick extra points for the first 2 possessions if they choose to, or once the third one starts up. And a lot of high school coaches, Bo, have been known to take gambles and go for 2, even when they're just down by 1. And last year, matter of fact, that's how Marist was eliminated at the end of a game. They trailed, actually, they led 34-33. And Thomas County Central went for 2 and beat them 35-34 on basically the last play of the game.
Well, as explosive as both these teams have been, then you can expect them maybe to go for it. I know the referees down there sorting everything out. They're trying to sort out the situation themselves. I don't know how many overtime games they've had under these new rules.
I want to mention the group, by the way. Referee is Norm Smith. The umpire is Johnny Wilson. Linesman's Woody Sharit. Line judge is Mel Williams. The back judge is Antonio Smith. The field judge, Brian Bogus. No gain there early. Nice play by Jimmy Coleman. Again, another one of these. Trying to get free, Jimmy Coleman. And again, the question is, how much does Tucker have left, Bo?
Well, that's the whole thing, is stamina here, endurance. How much can they suck it up? And at this point, you're feeling pretty good about yourself. You're tired, but you're just sucking it up.
Well, the problem will be is if they're not able to convert something here, Bo, a lot of these offensive players have to go on the defensive side of the ball and would be a little bit demoralized to not get a score in. D.T. McDowell, the star quarterback, needs to make something happen. 2 wide receivers set. He'll take the handoff. He's going to roll right and look for something deep. He takes off. He's at the 50. Great tackle there. Super job by Brad Mincy, the defensive tackle. He's a senior at 234 pounds, and he just brought down one of the best athletes in the state.
Just a great close on his part.
Phenomenal.
If you think if DT had taken it an instant earlier, he might not have been able to come back inside.
A huge defensive play by Brad Mincy. Just huge. You hate to put your kicker in a situation to have to kick a field goal right here, but your 3rd and 10 and your first 2 plays have not gone for anything. I would keep it in the hands of D.T. McDowell. He still is your playmaker. Can you get James Swinton involved as well? He'll roll left, he'll look downfield, he throws a strike, and that's the man, James Swinton. And they said he bobbled it, no catch.
Wow.
A laser from McDowell to Swinton, waiting for Swinton to get his name called in the overtime. Bo, it was right there.
That was an excellently delivered ball. And
nice play.
It looked like Swinton from here had it. Maybe we've got a replay. We can see that.
From the naked eye on the other side of the Georgia Dome at the press box, it looked like he made the catch. Let's look at the review. Really tough to not give the kid.
Boy, I thought he had that put away. Did he? Yeah. Guys in the booth are saying he did juggle it. Biggest kick of this young man's life.
Timeout called by Tucker. 32-yard click for Blake Carr. Bo, the last thing you want to do is come down on the referees in the high school game. They've done a phenomenal job tonight. But man, oh man, you know, we don't have the great replay angle, but I'd hate to take away a first down in that situation unless you're absolutely sure that kid was bobbling the football.
Which is amazing because we've had great replay angles the whole time.
Let's get Lisa Weiss. She's down on the sideline.
All right, thanks, Dick. Now, both teams have played in overtime this year. Tucker did during the regular season, and Statesboro did in the second round of the state playoffs. They beat Ware County in overtime when Shannon Fleming missed the extra point. That was a tough game. They went on to win it in overtime, 27-26. It's a mixed extra point, and you know what? That was a tough crowd to beat down in Waycross, Georgia, beating Ware County, ranked number 2 in the state. Back up to you, Steak.
Well, very true. I mean, when you win a game in that scenario, I guess the gods are shining on you. We'll see what happens here for Statesboro with Tucker trying to go up 3 in overtime. This would be a big kick if they can get it. 32 yards. It is up, and it is good. So much pressure on these young men right now, Bo. I mean, just, you know, it's moments that if it's a great moment, you'll have fond memories for the rest of your life. If you don't have something positive happen, it can be devastating, and that's what you hate to see. You don't want to see somebody
just a crushing thing like that. You know,
we don't want to miscue. Yeah, exactly.
That you remember.
You think about the kid Fleming who missed for Ware County, but he missed the extra point. Their season ended. You hate to see it end like that. You want to see somebody make a play, and a great job there converting on that kick. But
here comes Statesboro. What do you think? They're going to run the wishbone?
yeah, they're going to go a 4 wide receiver spread, Bo. 24-21 Tucker. A touchdown would win it for the Statesboro Blue Devils. They'd advance. They give to their tailback, Charles Rock, and he runs straight ahead for 5 yards. The danger here, Bo, is if they decide to run one of those play actions or one of those little Ruski plays where you hide the football, it could be all over for Tucker, because you got to play the run and you got to just get guys up front here because they have that huge offensive line. They're in the wishbone and they're so good at it. 2nd and 6. Inside handoff, great hitting up front. Tavius Roberts gets, looks like about 2 yards on the play. 3rd and 4.
Tavius Roberts is only 6 feet, 180 pounds. For some reason, he looks like a truck coming at you.
He runs so hard.
He brings it all. He really does. He looks wide. He's got big shoulders.
Jimmy Coleman, great job in penetration and pursuit there. Also, Tristan Solomon making the hit. 3rd and 4. If they do not get the first down, look for a field goal and one more overtime session. We shall see. Again, the handoff inside, and it is short of the first down. Tavius Roberts. Tucker holds. Big decision for Coach Busby. Wants the timeout. Coach Busby, Bo, you're so good at running the football, you need 1 yard. And if you get that yard, you got a first down and goal about the 5, 4, whatever it is, yard line.
You know, they came up with a great upset. These kids are not supposed to be here. Suppose you challenge them. Say, guys, this is it.
I think they go for it.
I do too.
Tucker, let's see what they decide. Otherwise, it's going to come down to their kicker. I also think, like, you know, very hard to hold Tucker the way they did last possession. And they may be thinking, if we give them the football back, are we tempting fate that they're not going to get in the end zone at some point?
They're going for it.
Well, the season for Tucker and Statesboro may very well come down to this play. 4th down and 1. Do you do anything but run it, Bo?
You buckle on your chin strap and you run it.
If Tucker holds them, they have won. They don't. And it's down to the 2. Almost to the 1. Let's talk about that left side of the offensive line, Bo. Pounded them.
That was Lonan, Brendan Palmer at center, Terrence Jackson. They've done it all night. When they really needed big jobs, they've gone left side.
Charles Weaver, the lead block, and Statesboro 2 yards away from going to the state finals. Great tackle by Andrew McCain.
And McCain
brings down
again.
Tavius Roberts. 2nd and goal at the 1. Tucker has been on the field. Doesn't matter if it's how long their defense has been on, because a lot of these guys are playing offense too, and they're into overtime.
McCain has been an hombre on defense and on offense.
Is there another gift waiting for the Tucker Tigers, or are the Blue Devils headed to Marist? We shall find out.
Coming right at you.
2nd and goal. Down, the knee was down, and again, stepping up and cutting down Charles Rock was Andrew McCain. Man, oh man, great penetration by Tucker. And Andrew McCain, he plays offensive line, folks. He's been playing offensive line all night, and look at him come up and help make the play there.
3rd and goal, 3rd and inches.
Inside the 1. Statesboro, a half a yard away from a win. Ball game. Statesboro's headed to Marist on Friday night. The Tucker defense
is
still
on
a shot at that.
Tucker defense is still on the field. They're still in the positions they were in. They're just devastated. They're heartbroken.
I have never seen a group of kids work as hard as that group, but give Statesboro credit and give them credit for going to it. But the kids on the Tucker sideline are still lying on the field in the end zone.
Statesboro going over to pick them up.
What a phenomenal game here in the 4A semifinals. Straight ahead, Tavius Roberts doing what he does best. He's great inside the goal line. He had a little bit of a hole, and he's in for the touchdown.
Just power. They're just coming right at you. They weren't going to do anything different, anything to try to fool you.
What a great football game. 2 great programs. And you can't say enough about the kids on Tucker going both ways all night. Still in the same spot where the game ended. That's Tristan Solomon, who's made some plays as they shake hands after this game. I'm glad it ended the way it did, Bo. It was Statesboro doing what they do best, just pounding the football. Nobody fumbled. Nobody threw an interception. Nobody missed a kick. You know, Tucker, frankly, you know, they were going to run out of gas, and they did.
Well, they'll be kicking themselves for the lost opportunities, Stig.
We'll get Lisa Weiss in a second. She's going to have Buzz Busby for us. They survived the late drive. They got a gift fumble late, and they got to overtime, Tucker, but they just did not have enough. And let's see what Lisa Weiss has with the game-winning coach, Coach Busby.
Coach Buzz Busby, I don't know what's going through your mind right now, but what a way to win this ball game.
Well, you said you love football. That was football in Georgia. It doesn't get any better than that. I've gone against Bill 3 times. This is 2 overtimes and 1 tie. He's a heck of a football coach, and they got a heck of a football team, but I am very, very proud of my kids. They played their hearts out.
They did, and I know you and Bill go way back. And another game that you guys played, Statesboro and Tucker, at 7, you guys won in penetration.
That was one of the best ball games I'd ever seen, but I believe this one eclipsed that one. I mean, our kids just kept on, and boy, they've got some talent, but our kids have got heart.
We go back to that comment about people saying that you were an underdog, you shouldn't have beat Ware County, and look at where you are now.
Well, you know, what can I say? These kids and my coaching staff does an outstanding job too, and what we've gone through as a group has been special, and I'll always remember this year.
Coach, congratulations, and we will see you next week in Marist in the 4A state championship game. Steak, back up to you.
Phenomenal job by Coach Busby. He runs an offense that is traditional as there is in high school football, and those kids just worked their butt off tonight, Bo, and when it came down to make a call on 4th down, they made the call, and they got it done.
It was nothing fancy. Blow them off the ball. Going to be running behind you. What a great win for Statesboro, coming off a controversial week that coach had down there, maybe thinking he might not be with him.
Statesboro beats Tucker 27-24 in the 4A semifinals. Thanks to the whole crew from GPTV for helping us out. What's next? How about another game? 5A semis coming up on GPTV.
This broadcast of the 2003 GHSA football semifinals has been provided in part by Georgia's Electric Membership Corporations, IBEW Local 613, South Trust Bank, Kroger, your Dodge Dealers of Georgia, the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, and by State Farm.